Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 212. Spooky?
Very spooky.
Spooky?
Spooky?
It's very spooky.
Ooh. I can't really hear you guys, just to let you know.
Yeah, Elf can neither hear nor see nor produce.
It's
It's
a challenge. What can I say? Everything's working, right? Yeah? Everybody's looking dashing.
Talking to himself. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, people are saying, "Oh my god, love Alf." So I'm assuming it's working pretty well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the stream is live. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
narrow
you're
vision.
live.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
actually.
good.
It's like I'm playing Destiny on the console in real life with my vision, my peripheral vision right now.
Ooh.
Damn, late slam. I mean, they're basically like not doing that anymore. But you got to give them one more jab before they go. PlayStation 4 is like on the way out.
There's a faint glint of chat to my left that I can't read at all.
I like how you're kind of like an emo Alf with like your hair hanging down
Yeah.
into your face.
Yeah, but that was one of his things.
Yeah, he had like the
He would do the
castle
hair
thing.
flip.
Yeah,
I do love the hair flip. The hair flip is nice.
I'm already sweating in here.
On a
Goddamn.
scale of 1 to 10, Tefty, how hot is it in there?
There's literally sweat already accruing all over my body right now.
For listeners who aren't watching on YouTube, check out the YouTube channel. And Tefty is dressed as Alf in a
Like
full bodysuit.
Full
body, that's right. It's
bodysuit
not just that. Oh my god. If it's any consolation, though, I am wearing my winter raid jacket, and it is roasting. It was the only thing I could come up with for some kind of like Destiny gear. I didn't
Like
have a
all
potato
Halloween
sack.
episodes, I assume that we'll be in various states of undress as the podcast goes
Yeah.
on. Myelin Games, what's going on, man?
Hi.
With
Myelin
power
Games,
level
you know?
9,000.
Yeah, you like my old karate gi.
Yeah.
Go,
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Hey, this is. I was saying in the pre-show, this is the anime crossover people have been waiting for.
Yes,
Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball crossover.
there it is. And I'm the sidekick.
I haven't watched
Elf.
Demon Slayer. I heard it's
You
good.
should.
I heard it's good.
Is
great.
that a cartoon?
Get him out. I'll replace him.
That is something that a narc would say.
Well, I am actually dressed as Tefty, as you can all see. I actually went to Tefty's house and I found some unexpected surprises. Tefty, might have to write you up with a little violation.
Oh my god, the props. Those are amazing.
And as you can see, I got into what Tefty had at his party.
All over the place. You
All
really
over.
got it.
All over the place.
This bag
good.
was full before Fran showed up.
Yeah,
True.
not the best costume. Some people don't know what I am. Chat's had some hits, but also some misses with like David Bowie as an example.
Oh, I can see
So-
that actually. I can totally see the David Bowie.
Bowie's in space, man.
Yeah. Major Tom.
Aldrin, this is the best I could do without
The
bright
man of the
yellow
hour.
contacts. Mm-hmm.
hmm
Well,
It's
Future though.
well, that's what.
So,
Watts is from an anime, right? Demon Slayer.
Yes,
Right.
So,
Correct.
what is that anime though? I want to know.
it is Demon Slayer. Her name is Mitsuri. She's the love pillar. She slays demons.
So I'm sorry. Say that again. That middle part.
She also
love-
has three
What was it?
pillar.
A pillar of love.
Love pillar.
Pillar of love. You also have three braids. Thing.
Yes.
I'm just stuck on love pillar.
Everyone's just thinking terms of service. This is
That
Prince,
was
Stitch,
that
the
was
love-
Briar's.
Well, so this is the thing.
that was Briar's
nickname.
nickname in high school. Love pillar.
Well, Fran had a great idea. So this shirt is cut out, and her boobs are just out. Well, not like totally, but they're
Well, it
they're
is
pretty
hair.
far
Mostly.
out.
Love pillar.
Mostly
Classic
out.
love pillar.
Fran had the best idea of wearing a shirt of boobs under the shirt. So if I had enough time, I would have done that. That sounded
That
like a
would have
great
been
idea.
funny.
But
For
this
the
is
future.
the TOS.
It would have been
friendly
funnier at
version.
Watts if you wore one of those shirts that was like man chest hair.
Could be that.
That would be pretty good. That would be good.
Probably not the thing you were going for, though.
I'm gonna have to peel the hat off, the mask off.
You can't stand it anymore.
So Myelin,
Dude, clip
From
what I
Inside Chapter.
understand-
Yeah, please clip that.
oh my god, Myelin, from what I understand, that you've come to the podcast to learn a little bit about some lore. Is that right?
I've heard that in order to excel my channel to the next level, I need to come to this podcast because you guys
Yeah.
have all the secrets, all the theories, all the theory crafting, and I'm hoping to learn a lot here. So thanks
Myelin,
for
It's
having
been
me.
said.
We-
It's
we
been
are-
said, mostly by us.
We are cutting edge lore professionals, and
We are.
A lot of people don't know this, but we release on average 4 to 5 books a year. You just don't know where they are. You know where you can
We
find them.
termed Cosmic Ice. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
That's true.
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's all the rage in the community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a bit later on, I'll give you a quiz of the new law and we'll see how you go.
We'll be
There will be a
quizzing you,
test.
Myelin.
There will be a test.
Wait, so is Myelin, have you been on the show before? I didn't catch that.
A long time
Yeah,
ago.
Long time ago.
Couple
A
times.
long time ago.
No, I've been a couple times, right?
Yeah, a couple times. A couple times.
Okay,
Yeah.
Before my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
You
good
are a
times.
lore master, actually, right?
I do talk a fair bit of law. I read. You know what? My release week is usually not playing Destiny, but I wonder how many books Bungie has released today, and I'll just go and sit and read them on the couch and make notes while everyone complains, "Why are you such a low light level, Myelin?" It's 'cause I'm reading the law, so you guys
Exactly.
can enjoy it while you grind your strike missions.
Have you always been into lore in games, or did Destiny just grab you?
Yeah, not previously, not in generally in games. It was just Destiny. I started a YouTube channel when Destiny came out, and I was trying all sorts of different things. And I stumbled upon making lore videos, and people really enjoyed them. And it sort of suited. I was sort of teaching at the time as well. Actually, I wasn't teaching yet, but I liked explaining things and like analyzing things, and that sort of suited my personality pretty well. So sort of looking into, why things were written, and no one was really doing it. It was sort of in a funny space, the Grimoire. Like everyone sort of hated it at first, and I started making videos around House of Wolves and realized there was some really great stories in there. And so there was a bit of a gap. And then I just sort of snowballed from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite Destiny lore angle to date? Whether it be like a particular weapon or, character development or something that's unfolded over the season pass type of stuff. Like, is there a standout for you?
I sort of change every season because something really cool comes out. I mean, to be honest, what they've done with Clover's Prey is pretty good. I love the idea of this golden age corporate giant that just gobbled up all this tech during that time, and we're sort of starting to discover how horrendous it was right now, and the creation of the Exos. I mean, that's been like some of the mysteries of Destiny. You just sort of forget. You sort of forget about them. It's like after Destiny 1, no one's asking, like, where'd the Exos come from? We like never got their origin story. Like it was just forgotten. And it's like, do you remember how we never told you how Exos were created? Here you go. That's Beyond Light, baby. I mean, Forsaken did amazing things as well. Forsaken was obviously a really good, a bunch of good stories in there. So I don't really have a standout. There's so many decent stories in Destiny.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick a fave.
That's cool. Yeah. I love how there's always been like little nuggets of lore on all the items throughout Destiny, or not all of them, but like a lot of the items they've had like pieces of lore that gets revealed in there. I always think that's fascinating. Really cool way to help like piece a picture together.
Yeah. Do you remember? I think it was either in Destiny 1, blue items had heaps of lore on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure there's like a story about there was some miscommunication for whoever was writing that. And they thought that they didn't know the like rare legend. They didn't know the order yet. So they dumped all the really good stuff and like rare items. So, oh, it's rare. Like that must be the top tier. So like that's why D1, like a whole bunch of blue items has like all these pivotal like flavor text and that kind of thing in there.
That's funny. I
didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that back
yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't there
Yeah,
like
like,
an,
you talk
wasn't there like an Ahamkara scale or something like that in D1 that was like a blue item?
really?
Yeah, I can't remember which ones there are, but there's some interesting stuff in there, and that's I think part of the appeal of D1. It was part of the appeal and it was part of its weakness, and I think people eventually came to love it. But the original criticism was it was just so scattered and it was so difficult and it wasn't in the game and this, that, and the other. And then once people really started getting for a feel of how they were telling the story, you know, that it required a fair bit of involvement to read and analyze and theory craft. You know, obviously the community is really strong now when it comes to lore, and they just everything that comes out is analyzed, ripped apart, and put back together again.
Yeah. Yep.
They kind of took that criticism to heart, right? And like there was no lore outside of the game in Destiny 2 at launch. It was all in the game.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah.
But now it seems like they've kind of evened it out a little bit. Are you like generally happy as like a, I don't know, I say lore nerd in like the nicest way possible, but are you pretty happy being like a kind of lore connoisseur or like where the game is at?
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, okay, so like if you look at Destiny 1, there was never like an official order to Grimoire cards. I mean, sometimes I would say Ghost Fragment 1 and Ghost Fragment 2 to give you a clue. But for the most part, the Ghost Fragments just had different names. And you had to go find, oh, you know, this piece is talking about Shin Malfur. We've got to find a place to put that into the story and work out its order.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot more work to get to that point, and a lot of things to discover. I think Destiny 2 with lore books is way more accessible for the average player. You don't need to, if you read something, you understand where it sits in the world. It sits as you know, entry 1, book 1, or entry 2, book 2, like wherever it goes. And so it's a bit easier to get into it. There are still clues to piece together, and I think they still do that relatively well. It's a lot less than Destiny 1, but the volume of lore is, you know, Forsaken had, I can't remember how many books Forsaken came out with, but I was reading for like a good week trying to get through all of it, and
wow.
it's you know, it's good. So I'm definitely happy with it is, and the community is great. You know, nothing better than putting on a lore YouTube video and grinding out your strike missions and bounties. People listen along. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your involvement with the physical lore books that came out?
Yeah. Oh, you mean these?
Speaking of lore books,
Yeah.
I have those. They're great.
those are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
They really
Yeah,
are. They're so good.
That was what so I went to the summit. So this was after D2. So after they removed the Grimoire cards, and Destiny 2 was in a bit of a bad state. They had the first summit at Bungie, and I was lucky enough to go there. And for those who went there, you probably recall there wasn't actually a narrative feedback section, right?
Nope.
So my old channel built. It was like Sandbox and Sandbox. I don't know.
It's Sandbox and
PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. And I maybe politely complained to Holtzman because Holtzman was around. I was like, mate, where's the narrative leads? Where we talk about story? Like, there's no story, right? And he pointed out Christopher Barrett, which I hadn't met before, and said, talk to him. And Mr. Barrett came over, and I said, look, you know, I actually did a survey from my community. We had 5,000 completions on the survey, and I basically put together a list of feedback about they could do in Destiny 2 to improve storytelling from the community's perspective. And following that meeting, and Miss Barrett set up a place to chat with the narrative leads, and we had a really great meeting. And then from that, I was actually, when they gave me a call and said, look, on a separate note, we would love to make some Destiny books. You've been here for a while now, not with Bungie, but you've covered it since House of Wolves. And because essentially Destiny 1 was so fragmented, like, how do we put this together? That was basically the question. Like, how do you put everything that's been in Destiny 1 into some sort of order that wouldn't just look like an encyclopedia? It wouldn't just be like this is everything about the Fallen, this is everything about, put it into some sort of theme. So my job was to sort of curate the lore and present possibilities on what book 1 would contain, what stories would that contain, what would be the theme of book 1, what would be the theme of book 2, 3, 4, etc. So I've worked on the first 3, 1, 2, and 3 with their products team to sort of go from there. And so, yeah, book 1 was all about questioning Guardians, whether we're the bad guys, really. That was my whole idea for book 1. Are we the bad guys? And I wanted to use the Hive to do that. So that's why you've got like Dredge and Yours, you got the Proto Hive, you got the Books of Sorrow in there, because once you read the Books of Sorrow, you sort of go, hold on a second. Wouldn't we do the same thing? Wait, we're just killing them and they're just trying to like make their species survive. So that was sort of the theme for book 1. And it ends on Eris Morn saying, we ended up creating Touch of Malice and we continued the cycle of destruction. So the big question mark is like, hold on a second. Aren't we as bad as the Hive? And that was the goal with book 1.
Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad dudes?
Are we, Myelin? Tell me. I need to know.
Are we? Well, with the darkness. And book 2 was Fallen Kingdoms. It was all about destroyed civilizations, the Iron Lords, the Fallen, along those themes. And I don't know if we've got I don't know if the theme for book 3 has been announced yet, but I think you enjoy it.
Are the first 2 still available?
I'm not too sure. I know it depends on where you go. I know they're quite difficult to get from Bungie. I mean, Volume 1, it was fantastic because I think the sales of book 1 really surprised Bungie, as in like they sold out very quickly, and they're like, okay, I guess there is. I guess people do want to buy the lore books.
In lore, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think probably easier to get hold of Volume 2. I'm not too sure on the sales. I know in Australia some bookshops can still get them in for you. You probably have to ask. Yeah. So it was really fun. It was so cool. I got to even go further, and even so once we had drafts and that for what order things should go in, I even got to give like art direction on what people might want to see. So I was just like, please draw Dredge and Yor being corrupted. So I just put like a little note in the margins to the art team going, people will love to see Dredge and Yor corrupted. People would love to see Shin Malfur. People would love to see Oryx killing Akka, the worm god, with the sword. And most of it got in. Like some of the artwork is amazing. So that was really cool. Just be like, draw this, please. And then see Bungie like, go off and make it. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
Yeah. Very cool, man. We got a few things to talk about for Destiny this week. I mean, we got a Vidoc. We got
we had like the story trailer as well, and then multiple other trailers.
Yeah. You
can explain to us what it all means, Myelin, because we're just like, oh,
what does that mean?
Icy, punchy, nice, cool, nice.
Cosmic ice. Not ice, cosmic ice.
So that Vidoc, right? Like that, as per usual, Bungie's productions are always just as top tier as it gets in the gaming industry. Just fantastic. Right?
They always have been. Even I remember watching like Halo 2 Vidocs, and they were Vidoc.
I think they always call it Vidoc.
Which is it?
They say Vidoc.
They do, yeah. Vidoc.
They say it? Okay, well, that's canon.
They have been saying, Vidoc.
Just like Cosmic Ice.
Back in the Halo days, and actually, I had to publish those videos, when they first were coming out at IGN for Halo, and I was like, I refuse to label them Vidoc and call them that. I'm like, it's a video doc. So I was I labeled them, whatever, Halo 2 video documentary. I was so against it. Now, over a decade later, it's just sort of
they've cemented it now.
Vidoc.
Yeah, it's a Vidoc now, right?
It's their own brand.
Yep.
Yeah, and also in that Vidoc, they just undoubtedly confirmed that it's Cosmic Ice, and we on DCP confirmed Cosmic Ice months ago.
They reconfirmed it.
Yeah, they reconfirmed it.
Think about it.
We were like,
You heard it
There
here
was
first.
some initial pushback on Cosmic Ice.
yeah, people were like, whoa, it's stasis, the stasis, man. Things slow down, and then they get
crystalline.
cold and all that crap. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
It's Cosmic Ice. Cosmic Ice.
We wrote it down, and now it's canon.
Yeah.
That's it. Can you send that to Myelin so it makes it in the next book?
Yeah, right. I'll put it in.
Send your
Just
SWAT
like a
note.
photo of that. Cosmic Ice concept art, and it's like a photo of Briar like writing.
Cosmic
Cosmic
Ice.
Ice.
Make sure you also put the Aldrin attending Tefty's narc party in the books later.
Yeah. Narc parties. They're pretty wild. Haven't had a lot since COVID though.
They got all the best drugs,
They do. It's
because
true.
they stole them.
free drugs, man.
That's part of being a narc.
There was some really big revelations in that Vidoc that are they're going to be spoilery, which just forewarning, if you're trying to be completely off the grid from any kind of things that are happening at Beyond Light, then you might have to start going dark now because that Vidoc had some juicy revelations.
But it wasn't crazy though.
Well, I would say it's pretty.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're dressed as the Crow.
I know.
No
The Crow
longer
is
Aldrin.
I know, but like that's where for me they do tell us a little more about Aldrin, right? But is that I don't know. We'll see. What
Well,
you
they
guys
have
think. I
Aldrin,
was
but
like,
then they
yeah,
also
so-
show Osiris getting punked,
Right.
And then we're like, hold up, Osiris, we got you.
Yeah.
Yes, this is our lore, Myelin. Osiris
Yeah,
is called being a
maybe-
punk. We're like, hold up, Osiris.
No, he was
I mean,
getting
it's-
punked by that Minotaur.
Get punked.
Yep.
Get
Yeah.
punked
Yeah,
by-
Myelin,
by Minotaur.
Did you investigate it already, Myelin? Like that you could explain to me, Aldrin, what I did to Osiris and what happened in this moment?
No, I actually was reading the collector's edition book a lot more than doing the Vidoc
The Vidocs and stuff, okay.
analysis.
Well, there wasn't much
But,
to
yeah.
it, right? So actually, Tef, you probably know it better. But didn't I like come out of the darkness as Aldrin, and I'm like thwap, and I like thwap Osiris over the head with a sword, and that's one of the
Wasn't it
moments
the
we see, right?
knight that did that?
Yeah, it was the knight.
Did the knight
Are you
do it?
are you
Yeah.
a
Oh, the
knight,
knights-
Aldrin?
I actually forgot it was
The
a
knight-
knight. I said Minotaur.
That's right.
It was actually a knight. My bad. And
Okay, but the knight was with Aldrin, right?
No, dude. I only watched
Maybe
it
not.
once.
See, okay,
And
I need
this
to stay away
confusion
from
is
lore.
confusing me even further.
Yeah, you know what? Back it up. I'm never gonna see. I always stay away from lore for these reasons. I'm like way off, probably.
Did you
Well,
watch
I mean,
the
I
new
think
Anthem
that-
Who
trailer?
does know what happened?
Yeah. I thought it was Aldrin that killed the knight. He saved Osiris.
Yeah,
Was
Aldrin
like-
saved Osiris. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Sir, you're about to be punked." Whoosh, killed the knight, the knight, and then we join
that's
Osiris and go on a merry journey.
And there's your Destiny lore minute.
We follow the Yellowbrick Road. We find Oz. We visit Briar's place, who's also got a bunch of. Anyways, yeah.
Cosmic
But
Eye.
so that was Season of the Hunt,
Guys.
which sort of that sort of threw me because I was like, wait, what's happening here? Because they didn't actually talk much about the Beyond Light campaign, and they sort of switched gears to Season of the Hunt with Zaivu Araf.
Yes. Yeah.
Oryx's other sister, not Savathun, not the Witch
Right.
Queen. So that was a bit of a curveball because they've got Clovis Bray, they've got Exo Stranger stories, they've got Drifter mixed in with Eris, who are all wielding darkness powers. They're like, you know what? Chuck in Xifu. Chuck in another Hive God in there as well.
I was really surprised about that
Actually,
too.
and Osiris and Aldrin.
Yeah,
Just put all the characters in.
everybody gets in. Beyond Light, everybody's in.
The band's back together. Just chuck everyone in.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the We Are the World of Destiny.
I mean, that's pretty interesting. Season of the Hunt's going to have another Hive God in it. I assume Beyond Light campaign will be Eramis, and they didn't actually speak a huge amount about that, just apart from the Fallen taking on stasis.
Yeah.
And this is pretty typical for the Fallen. They always try to get away from ether, which is made by the servitors, which is their lifeblood.
Yeah.
They did it with Siva. They did it with the Scorn with dark ether. The Fallen are always trying to escape ether in general.
So they're just drug addicts trying to get clean, but keep on falling into the same patterns.
Yeah, just replacing the drug with other drugs and then getting destroyed for being a druggie. Yeah.
Wow. Some deep commentary.
Sounds like America. God damn.
Last week where Aramis was like, we're getting free for the machine, and the servitor was in the back, and we were like, that's awkward. And then in this one, she just turns around and straight up punches the servitor.
Yeah.
Shattering.
Thanks, that bitch.
Yep.
She said, enough of this ether huffing machine god
huge.
bull. Bam, we got stasis now.
That's very symbolic of, because the servitors are what produce their ether, which is what they need to breathe, basically. And throughout Destiny, Guardians have been killing servitors. So there's a cool part where Varix is like, we're basically running out of ether stores, and they have to like ration how much they drink of it. That came out in Forsaken. So some of them are like starving. So the fact that she like destroys something that produces their life force is, symbolic of like breaking free of that chain.
The mechanical breast milk producer.
Are servitors like rulers too, or are they just servants, or are they just machines that produce?
That's why they're revered as gods, because they do have that life force, but and they sort of go in the hierarchy above a Kel, but not necessarily command anything. Like the Kel would still issue commands, but they're considering like a god as in life force wise.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, just smashes it in front of all the crew.
Also, how would you pronounce Aramis? Aramis, right?
Like you said, Aramis. Yeah.
Briar, can we get a review on the proper pronunciation?
Aramis. Aramis.
Aramis.
I thought it was a Ramus.
Aramis.
What about Arthris's grip or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
What's that exotic?
Nailed it. I'm sorry that I didn't pronounce your fake name that was made up right.
Try making a lore video on it. Try saying something wrong.
So
I've never actually said Gallahorn correctly, and I'm okay with it.
So like back to the Cyrus being back. I mean, like what kind of implications do you think that is for Beyond Light? Like him, Aldrin, the Stranger, all being involved.
So
what kind of drug cocktail are we looking at for story lore?
So did you watch the new trailer today as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Did you see the Exo use darkness stasis?
Yeah, she had dark powers. Like she was wielding ice power.
She's not a guardian, right?
Supposedly, yeah. In D1, she said she's not a guardian because she didn't get woken by the Traveler or something like that, right? Or chosen by the Traveler.
And she has the little fishy boy, not a ghost.
She has Fishy Boy, which is not a ghost. People have been saying, I wonder if the Fishy is like a dark version of ghosts.
Yeah, I was going to say, is like, was she woken by the darkness and was like, wake up, girl. You got stuff to do.
There's a lot of lore whenever you want to talk about it, about her creation story, which is in the Collector's Edition book, which we can dive into whenever you're ready. But it's a long story, so popcorn ready. But I thought it was interesting. Exo Stranger wielding darkness. So was Eris Morn. She changed her orb and she wields darkness too. So these are all characters that typically don't wield the light. And there's another reason for the Drifter. And the Drifter's already wields darkness in Gambit. He's
been pro darkness for a while.
The trio of characters are all non-typical light bearers to guide us in wielding darkness. So I think that's their plot device for.
And they also said that they got to break free from what the Vanguard's been doing because it's not going to lead them to where they need to go. They got to embrace darkness to fight darkness with darkness and all that, right?
So it's all the misfits, banged together, basically, to guide us on a dark path and hopefully not lose ourselves along the way. In regards to Osiris, the last thing we really heard about Vexy stuff was in the most recent book for Season of Arrivals, where Brother Vance went into the Infinite Forest and fought a doppelganger of himself and sealed the forest, trying to protect the Infinite Forest from the pyramid ships. But I don't know how that would relate to Osiris and Tommy
Brother
Wimey
Vance
stuff.
fought a
and
doppelganger
Season
of
Hunt.
himself and sealed the forest. In there.
Yes. So the Season of Arrivals books, I think they're going to kill off all the characters that are of the planets that are going.
Really?
I think they've given them their last stand in the lore. They all basically have a last stand entry in the Season of Arrivals lore book. So Sloane has a last stand. Brother Vance seals the Infinite Forest from the inside, fighting a doppelganger. And who else dies? Planet Vendors. Which one's that?
What's his name?
Wait, Brother Vance is dead?
Not dead, but they leave it very open ended. Like, yeah,
he
like
apparently fought a doppelganger
Forest.
himself. I mean, I'm just still trying to process how awful that must have been to have Brother Vance come upon himself and realize how annoying he is, and then have to fight himself to the death to seal off the Infinite Forest.
Yeah, so right, you know how he knew it was a doppelganger? Well, so the doppelganger is what we meet at the end of Shadowkeep, right? So,
Okay.
Right, so we see our doppelganger too. So you assume it's the pyramid ships, and he, because Brother Vance is blind, he like eye gouges a doppelganger, and the like last sentence was something like, "Oh, how unfortunate you still have eyes," because the doppelganger starts screaming. So and it sort of just ends there. And Asher was the other one. And Asher returns back to the Pyramidian Lake.
One final go.
I'm gonna mute myself for a sec.
Oh,
sorry.
All right, we
Dog's
like
barking. Unless it's not too loud.
Dogs.
It's okay.
I think
It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
not bad.
Everybody loves the doggos.
Asher has one more go at the pyramid.
He has one. So remember this, right? Asher Mia, if you actually look into his lore, he has been like, he has not left his post. He's not been back out in the field. His whole like plot device is he gets us to do his research for him because he lost his ghost to the his Vex. His ghost is Vexy. We haven't seen it again. He's never died since having his Vex arm. And some of the lore expands upon how terrified he is of death. So his last entry is like a last hurrah, and he actually goes in the Pyramidium himself, and he says, "I'm going to wait for the pyramid ships at the center of the Radiolarian Lake." And he like throws himself into the lake.
Whoa.
So like,
wow.
Last
I
stand,
like
don't know.
Asher.
All of a sudden
Maybe
you hear,
he'll take them all out. Maybe he's got this.
I just think he jumps in the lake and all of a sudden you hear Guardian down.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's like, well,
Guardian down.
oh well, Asher. Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, some of that makes a lot of sense now that you say it. Because yeah, I feel like there needs to be some new characters and room for development for those versus just transporting a bunch of vendors we've been hanging out with all this time, So
Yeah.
wonder who those are going to be. That'll be interesting to see over the next 3 years. Those probably develop.
Yeah. Well, I have this vague recollection of them saying, I don't know if it was in a Vidoc or something else, that they were like, our character cast is quite large and we actually want to focus on developing what we have. I can't remember where it was said though, but I thought I heard them talk about like really fleshing out some of those characters that haven't had their time in the sun yet and sort of working on what they've got.
So this is kind of like Beyond the Light, the Purge, while fleshing out some of the characters that are more interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think it would make sense, like if when they
Stranger.
get rid of the planets, to get rid of the vendors and give them a final hurrah, like goodbye. I hope we see something in game. I don't know if we will, but I mean, they're basically putting the law. The pyramid ships will invade all those planets, and hopefully they just disappear for some reason with the vendors.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so in the future though, when they bring it back, do you think they're going to then, like, let's assume that this happens and Asher dies and all that stuff. Like, do you think they would introduce a new vendor or maybe change up the vendor system then when they bring that stuff back?
What have they said about bringing stuff? Isn't it just in a vault sort of deal, or are they going to reintroduce it later?
Well, so the Cosmodrome is the first taste of this, and we are getting, you know, what's his name, the Shahan, right? That's his name. Shahan.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like the I believe the vendor and also the new light helper guy.
Tour guide.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, Guardian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So I wonder if they're going to do that
definitely
same
not
type. Yeah, he's not Aldrin. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to do the same type of thing, or change up the way the vendor system works for planets when they reintroduce it with the Destiny content vault.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, see, I do hope that there is like some narrative tie-in, and Bungie's sort of been doing that. Like, look at the Almighty and that kind of stuff. They are trying to tie in reasons for the world changing. I know that's been one of their goals, is to make it feel like the world is changing. So I hope there is, the planets just don't disappear and for no real apparent reason.
Yeah.
But then if that's the case, then you would need a reason to bring them back, which is when it gets tricky.
Right. Like they're kind of setting themselves
Yeah, I
up
don't
for narratives for that, right?
Right. But do they really explain why the Cosmodrome is suddenly accessible? I mean, do we know that yet without playing it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was quarantined by Zavala, and I think he's lifted the quarantine. I can't remember the exact quote.
Yeah, I think
But
it
I
was
think
something like that. You're right.
It might have been Siva, or it might have been later. I'm not too sure.
Was he throwing ether parties in the Cosmodrome?
Still
Didn't want
on
anybody
fire.
to know.
Yeah. Aldrin's just hiding out there. This is no one finds Aldrin.
Zavala
Checks
is
out
such
to
a
me.
cop.
Hey, man.
He was taking all
Aldrin
the ether
doesn't
that they
even-
stole. Yeah.
Doesn't even know his own name, probably. So stop picking on.
There's
Aldrin,
going to be
okay?
a lot of angry people. There's going to be a lot of angry people at Aldrin. People are very passionate about not liking Aldrin.
I would
are.
happily shoot him in the head again. Like,
He was
that
kind of
super
a
fun.
jerk.
Yeah,
Did some bad things.
yeah. He
I don't know,
started
like,
off as like an asshole and then became like an actual bad guy.
Yeah.
But like now, I actually really like the idea that somebody that is perhaps most hated, most known, and most wanted, and most hated, all the above, coming back and maybe being heroic, and you have to like get over that hump of like, all right, that was nice of you. To yes, I watched it again. He does save Osiris from that night. I totally just like when you were saying it before, I actually like to experience the stuff in the game. I don't pay attention to the lore, the little bits, if that makes sense. I'm always looking for like gameplay stuff, like when they hovered over the subclasses and stuff. But I missed that. I thought it was bringing into question that Aldrin was who knows which side he's on. But they did make it really clear that we know so far, right? He doesn't really know who he is, what he did yet. And then he's out there helping out Osiris. So
Yeah.
And we're going on a
definitely
journey with him, right?
Mhm.
Like it shows in the trailer, it was showing like Guardian side by side with him. So that's going to be, I really hope that story is super interesting, because I do like the idea of him coming back as this super hated person who killed our beloved Cade, and then us going on this journey with him and things kind of changing and our thoughts changing and really fleshing that out. That's really exciting.
Yeah. And you'll always have, though, no matter all the good stuff he does, you'll always still wonder if there's this underbelly of like, wait, can I really trust? Almost like we have with the Drifter,
True.
probably, where it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this guy.
Myelin, is there any lore for what kind of person becomes a Guardian? Like, is there any?
Yeah, how
like,
they get selected.
Were you a good person, or could it be any person?
So like good teeth or
Good
Yeah.
the dental
Good
records
teeth.
involved.
Yeah. No debt, good teeth, outstanding citizen during the
Teeth
golden
scanning.
age, has multiple pets, good dog owner, stuff
High
like
credit
that.
score.
There is a little bit about how a ghost sucks a guardian. There's a lot of just it feels right, and you'll know when you find your guardian. Ghosts do the scan thing where they scan over the remains, and there's a number of cards that just sort of say, "I just knew that you were the one, and that you would make use of the light, and be able to, be a warrior." There's a cynical side of that thing, which is obviously the ghosts were created by the Traveler, so it's sort of like, hey, we're going to pick people who we can manipulate because we need warriors. So
Right.
we don't want thinkers. We don't want people who are going to who are going to wield the light and go against the traveler. We actually need people who are going to fall in line. So
we don't want
there's a
resurrect
whole
some
cynical-
dummies.
we don't want
dummies. We need some
a
time.
lot of chatterboxes, right? Just listen and take
Aldrin's
orders.
perfect for that, right? His whole thing was he got corrupted and manipulated. So
That's right.
True.
That was
Do
his
it
end.
again.
It's perfect for that.
he's perfect for
And
the
then-
job.
And then there's a bunch that's like ghosts pick, they can somehow detect personality, character, your soul, and they pick something that complements them. So together you make, you know, the perfect weapon. But there's nothing really specific about that.
My ghost has a shot.
There's a little bit
anybody.
about like, it's likely the traveler, we know the traveler like influenced humanity with the light, like without guardians, like during the golden age, humans lived longer. We don't really know what that involves. So it's sort of like, we probably had this cosmic force and maybe people absorbed the light and, you know, there's some sort of precursor. So you need some sort of DNA change for a ghost to be compatible with you. And that could happen. Because we also have the Shin Mao first story too, which was like the transfer of a ghost. And that sort of gave you the idea that ghosts maybe have a bit more choice in who they choose in reviving. And we also know that ghosts can make mistakes, like Dredge and Yaws and that, who they revive someone who ended up turning evil. So, yeah,
Fascinating.
Aldrin could be a mistake.
He could be.
turn again.
Well,
I believe in Aldrin.
Pork is
All right.
super charismatic,
How
right?
dare
And
you
funny
guys.
and such a like awesome character. So I'm excited to actually see that ghost in the game. And maybe some of that rubs off onto Crow and he ends up being this super charismatic, funny, little adorable man. Maybe. Yes, maybe.
He gets a complete character change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
good.
That would be great.
I
You
think
know-
now
you know,
that he's
I
got a
just had-
ghost, when I shoot him in the head, he's just going to resurrect. So I can unload the whole clip, get joy after joy after joy.
The new firing
Yeah, I'll
range.
just- yeah, I feel like we need a test firing range with the crow at the end that just gives you the damage numbers, and then it just reses after it, so you can test out your weapon recall.
He's
patterns.
got a res with the shock though, being like, I'm alive again.
Oh, that
Every
would really
time.
hurt, fuckers.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
still
This
remembers.
isn't funny anymore.
Oh god.
Imagine a objective PvP mode where one person is the president and they're actually Aldrin. They get nominated and you spawn in as Aldrin. And one team's got to protect Aldrin, and the other team can just beef it out. And that's how all the player base just gets rid of their. That's the law for getting rid of all that hatred to Aldrin. Just Crucible
A
training
Crucible.
mode.
The new
Yeah.
faction.
Crucible punch
That's
on.
great.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So, was there anything else in the vid doc that we wanted to talk about?
Man, there was a lot, but
There's been so many. This week has
lot of little
been like, how many
things.
trailers have there been? There's been like 3
Yeah, we got the
trailers. There's been a
story
Vidoc.
trailer.
There's been
Yeah.
so many things. And then there's been like the kind of mini things, right? With Varix and Stranger kind of going into them a little bit. So we've had a lot of story stuff come out.
yeah.
Is the roadmap new, or had we seen that before? I can't remember.
That's new.
That's new.
That's new. Do you want to go over the roadmap? Because I think that's pretty important.
Yeah.
Roadmaps are
Yeah.
cool.
All right, I gotta take off my cop sunglasses. Can't actually see in those. So on 11/10 release day, we get Beyond Light, the campaign, Stasis, the Titan Behemoth, Warlock Shadebinder, Hunter Revenant, Salvation's Grip Exotic, and the Grenade Launcher Quest. Free to all players, we get new destination, Europa, new Cosmodrome experience, new seasonal armor, new exotic weapon, new strike. Only one, it
Yeah.
says here.
That was a bummer right there. One new strike,
Yeah.
and they're taking away
Probably
several.
the Glassway, I guess.
New lost sectors. There's an S there, so it's plural. 100 plus seasonal ranks. New artifact mods, new triumphs, shaders and emblems. Iron Banner, The Dawning.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what I expected.
There's a seasonal artifact and reward track unlock. Empire hunts begin. The Glassway strike opens. What
And
are
that's on
Empire
launch day.
hunts? Yeah.
Did they
Part of the season, right? So I don't know if they
I don't
showed
think we
the
know
gameplay
yet.
of it. They probably did somewhere.
Mhm.
Do you think it's going to be like the hunts in Forsaken, where you go off and find like specific people to kill?
I'd assume it'd be more than just
Was that
that.
Forsaken? Yeah, that was.
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean the spider
okay.
bounties? Like,
Yeah,
like
the
Spider
well,
Bounties.
Well, because there's
no,
also
in the main
there's
campaign.
You mean the Barons?
Yeah. I love those.
The
I
Barons.
love the whole
Yeah.
Baron thing. It seems like
Oh,
a somewhat
that.
similar concept, at least, that they're doing. But it's interesting because it says Empire hunts, and then there's also Wrathborn hunts.
Right.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm
That's
actually-
later.
multiple
Yeah,
hunts.
I assume that these are the public event replacements. that
That's
are
what I
coming.
was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the
Interesting.
interference,
Which
or
doesn't
the
sound nearly as cool.
obelisks and-
I mean, this season was fun for the public event type of stuff, but I look at this and I kind of go, are we going to get a pretty similar formula that we've already experienced with
Yeah, I
Beyond
think
Light?
so.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping that there's some newer stuff as well, newer like gameplay activity type of things that are coming that are going to kind of change the overall weekly habits.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's a
Yeah, I
great
don't
question.
know.
I personally don't expect that.
Neither.
I certainly expect that with the new subclass, all the new modding stuff, leveling all that up and getting rid of other destinations, but exploring a new one especially, that will feel the most new, obviously. But like when you look at the roadmap, it's such a similar thing. It begs the same questions of like, when are we going to see a hidden exotic quest, because it's been a while and stuff like that. I expect it to follow a very similar formula, but hopefully the new destination and the new raid like really bring along with the subclass like this feeling of newness.
Yeah.
I think
The next item on the list is uncover your opus secrets, and that goes from 1110 to 112, and that sounds exactly like uncovering the secrets of was it the Forgotten City, the Forsaken City? What was it called?
The
Dreaming City.
Dreaming City. Thank you.
Oh yeah, like the Ascendant.
You know,
realm
where
stuff,
that
or-
would have like rotations of content throughout,
That was
like
Briar
over a
testing
month's
us.
time.
Yeah, it was a test. That was a test.
Lord,
Myelin.
Lord
Let's make
test.
sure you know the
Your-
word dreaming.
Oh, yeah, the pop quiz, lore pop quiz. And
There's so many names, it's hard to keep them all
There is a lot.
going.
There is a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I sort of agree with Fran here. I think the subclass, the Europa, and I think obviously a big chunk of like narrative story, Exo Stranger, Aldrin, is gonna hopefully keep people happy. But the day-to-day grind, I would probably expect is pretty similar.
pretty similar, yeah. That honestly concerns me because, like, I know that there's going to be a lot of fundamental changes happening with Stasis or Cosmic Ice and the subclasses, and that's going to be fun to hunt and
The
see.
subclasses, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I am a little concerned that it's going to be pretty light on initial delivery for, like, we're getting a whole bunch of weapons that are being sunset, and we've been saying this on the show that if they don't give us a lot of replacement options that are going to be interesting, then that sunsetting is going to be extremely problematic for veteran players who are going to feel very fatigued over basically losing all that stuff and then going after just a very small pool of new stuff. So I hope that's not the case. I hope there's like a lot of interesting new loot and places to go find them,
Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning that Luke Smith, had done an interview today.
He did.
That had a couple things come out. One was about deleting stuff and the transmog stuff, which we can talk about after. But maybe a good aside here is just that he said, apparently, let's hope this quote is right because I pulled it off a Google, but it looks like the right quote. But he says, size-wise, I think the common comparison people want to make is to something like Forsaken. But the article notes, of course, that was co-developed with Activision, High Moon Studios, and Vicarious, of course, was involved. So there's a lot of people working. And then Luke's quote continues, it's not as big as Forsaken. We're one team working from home, but it's definitely bigger than Shadowkeep. So somewhere between Shadowkeep and Forsaken, which is kind of what I was expecting. I just don't know how to translate that, obviously.
Yeah.
I think I'm having a personal problem with Destiny right now in that like I'm kind of ready for them to settle on like, here are the systems that we're running with. Here are like the, we're not going to majorly revamp any more systems. We're just going to focus on making new content, because that's really what I want out of Destiny. Is I want big content drops. I want, I'm happy to get stasis. I'm happy to get a brand new subclass. That's amazing. But what I don't want is revamps of all the underlying systems, because I just want to play new stuff in that Destiny content, in that Destiny universe.
True.
I want to see new strikes. I want to see new Crucible maps. I want to see new stuff. And it's disappointing to me that I can't blame anybody, especially this year, but it just remains disappointing to me that, we just don't get that content on a regular schedule, because I am really excited for Beyond Light, but I expect that if Beyond Light doesn't satisfy like a huge amount of time, then, we're going to get little bits and pieces throughout the year and then be back in a year waiting for another big content drop. And now that we're never really expecting a Destiny 3, like we're never really expecting like a big bomb, like a sequel would be.
That's a good point.
I think people are severely underestimating the fact that we have never had a new element added, and we haven't had a new subclass in a very long time. So they can make one more strike, 2 Crucible maps, but eventually you're going to be like, I've played that one strike. I've played those Crucible maps. Whereas with Stasis, it's something that no matter what content you're playing, old raids, old strike, new strike, you're going to be experiencing something totally different. You're going to be messing around with the different element. You're going to be messing around with all of the different subclasses. And today, Luke Smith all but confirmed that this is just the first of darkness subclasses that are coming.
Right.
So, do you think that we're going to get a new darkness subclass once a year?
I think it's going to be once a year.
Could even be across this year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
do you think they would release
people are
every 3
speculating.
months? I think
I have no idea, but
I think every season is way too optimistic for them to release new darkness classes. I think it's going to be on a yearly refresh. But 2 years ago, though, we did get new subclasses in Forsaken, and seeing that stuff did like revitalize a lot of content. But
it wasn't a whole new element. It was like you're getting a new void thing. You're getting a new solar thing. We haven't had a whole new element ever.
Totally.
Yeah. But I think like on Tepti's point, it sort of seems like they haven't settled on the system yet. Like Umbral Engrams gets introduced, and now we're getting like, it feels like there's just constant iteration of what they've got, rather than like settling. All right, this is the foundation of Destiny. Transmog, Umbral, you still got to grind, but you've got some way of getting what you want, and then we put all our efforts into more gear, more content, more strikes, more this, more that. And I sort of agree that I'm hoping with Transmog, and I guess what they started with Umbral Engrams, with having a bit more control of how you decrypt things, that's getting closer to, the final form of grinding and the feedback loop.
So
and then more effort.
This content ambiguity like goes all the way back to House of Wolves. It's like Prison Elders. We got Prison Elders. Like, oh, this is a new activity type of thing. This is interesting. Okay. And then like Court of Orcs showed up in Taken King, and then we had like I can't remember what it was. Plagueland showed up with a few things in Rise of Iron. It's like they've always been dabbling in some of these new things, but never truly just settled on one thing that they're going to continue to expand. I always wanted that to be patrols. Like, take patrols and keep fleshing out really interesting things. Like I was talking with on stream with chat a few nights ago about how like world tiers and patrols would have been so cool to have them be able to upgrade your world tier of a patrol to get different drops and go and like farm for stuff out there. And I feel like a lot of the focus and attention gets put on these new activities that then kind of get forgotten about later on.
Patrols you interact with all the time too. Remember when they experimented with putting like world bosses in patrols? Was that in Rise of Iron or was that in House of Wolves? I can't actually remember when that was. But there would actually be like, bosses,
the rows,
like roaming the world at random times.
The wolves are roaming.
Yeah,
that was House of Wolves. Yeah.
No, not wolves. It was after wolves.
It was the big bosses. You'd go to like any planet, and there would be like that huge boss that's in there, like a giant minotaur or something.
Yeah, exactly. Watts.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I can't remember when that was though.
Was it Taken King?
It might have
I feel
been.
like that might have been.
That was Taken King. Yeah, I remember now. Yep, that was really cool.
Was
and there were certain bounties that you had to take some of those out, and it could be a little frustrating because they'd show up kind of randomly. So if you knew you had to get a specific one, you had to kind of wait around for it. But it was cool to have those guys running around because even when you're doing a strike, you might you might go through an area and there might be a bunch of guys fighting those guys, and you could like, well, hold up, let's fight this guy, help these guys out, and then continue on with your strike.
Yeah, that was so cool.
That kind of stuff is really cool when the strikes are built into the public or into the into the patrol zone too. Like, so it's kind of like with Vault of Glass, where in patrol you'd run across people that were opening the gate in Vault of Glass, and like those two felt synergistic. It's nice to have that kind of stuff. I kind of agree with Tefty on that. I'd love to see them flesh out patrol more. But I also feel, Watts, your point is valid, like, because you're basically getting a new tool. Like, you've been working on this car with a hammer and a flathead screwdriver and a wrench, and all of a sudden somebody just gave you a Phillips head, and you get to go over this car in a brand new way. Like, oh my God, there's so many things I can screw with this Phillips head.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
It's also worth noting,
nice.
That's
Very
kind
nice.
of like it kind of makes sense with what we're talking about. But they did say that most of the seasonal content from all of the seasons this year will be sticking around for all of year 4. So we're not going to have the thing of, and a thing comes and then it goes, and then a thing comes and it goes.
Oh,
it's going to stick around through all of this year.
Yeah. If we remember, that was a reaction to the obelisks, I think, in the first, season after Shadowkeep. People felt like, it was Vex offensive and which started all that. And then people were like, what? Like, now it's all gone and I missed stuff, but it also just didn't, it felt like things were going way too fast. And they said, look, we're going to fix it. So yeah, it sounds like that starts now.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I'm definitely with you. Like, I think we feel a little uneasy because we don't know what's coming. And we're trying to like equate a new experience that we're very hopeful for and say, well, it's not as big as Forsaken, which we really like, but better than Shadowkeep. But to be fair, we do get the Cosmodrome, and that's a big deal to get a new place. So that I think is on its own really exciting. The weather system, and kind of like with what Watts was saying, bringing a subclass, having a weather system, and a new location, and hopefully how those patrols even pan out. And so I think it's going to be a lot about that, because at least for me personally too, like Dreaming City and Forsaken, like as much as there was to do elsewhere, most of the meat of it felt like it was in that location to me. Not that there wasn't other stuff, but the coolest stuff like Ascendant Realms and just really everything seemed to be there. Outside
I think that's the best content they've ever made, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I think hopefully we see that on the new location. But I was also going to say I could go for just something new to grind, like, or even old. I was thinking about Prison of Elders, and like maybe a redux of that, now that we got Varix coming back. But something just to kind of zone out to that's not something we already know about. Not that I don't like those things, but I'd love to find something else.
Getting back to the roadmap, and I found this to be really interesting. The first weekend, Trials will be back, and Adept Weapons will be added to Trials. So if you want to raid, I think going into Trials is probably going to be part of your leveling up process, because I'm guessing you're going to want those Adept Weapons, and you're going to want the power that Trials of Osiris gives you.
First Trials that comes out on new DLCs is always the best.
It is always the best. It's always actually
biggest.
like you can just jump in there with buds and be like, hey guys, let's just like go have fun. Maybe go flawless accidentally.
Yeah.
And then after that, it never happens again.
Yeah.
They're words I've never said. I went flawless accidentally.
Same, Myelin. There is a huge celebration. There's much champagne when I make it to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
move on. I said Cosmodrome instead of Europa with weather systems and all. I meant Europa. Let's make sure that
I thought you were saying that, but
like, what?
People were like, "That's not
to be
new.
sure.
That's from Dust
Don't
21.
trust the crow.
Europa's new."
Europa, new weather
Europa is
systems.
a-
Well,
is a
okay.
new-
I do want to say though that with the Cosmodrome, I am expecting some secrets and changes and unique new things added to the Cosmodrome. If it literally is just a port over from D1 that is like, hey, you can go here now, have fun, you know, like I'm going to be disappointed. They did say that they already added some lost sectors and stuff, but I want like a quest thing that takes you through there. You know, also
I suspect it's going to be a lot like the moon, right?
Well, Shadowkeep was designed for any evolution of the moon. This isn't really like, yeah, I don't know. It could be.
Yeah,
this is designed around Europa.
I was gonna say like the moon got some significant changes in areas. This is more you're not going to get all the areas, but we're going to add and change up a few things, but not. I don't expect it to be like, you know, didn't they double the size of the moon's, you know, usable space or something?
Something like that.
It's not going to be that. I don't think so.
Also, so they say like one new strike, but we know that the Cosmodrome strikes are coming back. So,
yeah.
I mean, are they coming back on launch day? Are they going to phase them in over time?
Maybe they're going to phase them in.
Well, in the trailer, they showed the Omnigul. They showed the Omnigul strike,
Omnigul.
right? But it was
Omnigul, but not Omnigul.
Yeah, who's the replacement for Omnigul? What was
that could be a story mission, not a strike, right?
Her?
Wait, it's not Omnigul anymore?
Yeah, it's someone else. Well, the little objective that comes up doesn't say defeat Omnigul. It comes up with like defeat. I can't remember the name.
Well, we killed Omnigul.
Navoda?
Like 5 years ago. 4 years ago.
Navoda?
Yeah, but when has that ever stopped any character coming back?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, this is Destiny. You know what I mean? They could come back.
On
Yeah.
On 11/17, the season mission begins. What do you think the season mission is?
And it shows Spider.
That's the season of the hunt.
Season of the hunt. Okay.
I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's like the beginning of interference missions and
like the season within Beyond Light sort of deal.
Yeah.
And then the Wrathborn hunts begin. 11/21, the raid opens, Deepstone Crypt. 12/8, First Iron Banner. 12/15 through a 1/15, the Dawning. And then there's like a and more. And then there's new exotic weapons and armor, Hawkmoon, Cloud Strike, No Time to Explain, Duality, Salvation's Grip, the Lament, Icefall Mantle, Mask of Bacchus, Aether's Embrace, Dawn Chorus, Necrotic Grip, and Precious Scars.
Yeah.
That and more image is interesting because looks like Europa, right? But it's got a bunch of buildings on it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Don't know what that is.
Doesn't Europa have buildings on it? I thought.
Yeah,
Europa
they showed it was like
some buildings. Yeah.
Showed it was like a time capsule encased moment of the golden age that suddenly froze over. You forgot to mention also Cyberpunk, Briar. Oh, he just left. He's not hearing my joke about Cyberpunk on the 10th.
His camera's having a party though while he's gone though.
Yeah, it is.
I was gonna say the Dawning screenshot was also it seems like it's, I don't know if we can tell. It's all like snowed over and there's like this very pretty tree.
That's
with
a
bunch of
beautiful
lights.
tree in the tower.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's in either, you know, I don't know if we're going, are we going back to the old tower? But is this in Europa? I have no idea. It looks like there's a city in the distance though. So maybe they just have reworked it. But I bring it up because I've been saying how much of an awesome job they did with Festival of the Lost. Like every corner of our location was touched. And I sort of was speculating. I said, it might be Dawning's turn finally. So maybe it looks like we might get a pretty makeover.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it's exciting, obviously.
It's a good
like I can't wait to see what the new content is, and I'm excited to play all that and like the new missions and see it unfold. But I'm still definitely concerned about where the content's going to go and what the grind is ultimately going to turn into, because this has always been the issue, is that once you get past that new and then you get into the weekly habits, like where does that unfold? Like, are you just checking things off? And they did talk about that in the TWAB a bit, but it didn't put me at ease.
I also think like I feel like the Destiny player base is maybe changing attitudes as well, because I think we've always had an expectation that Destiny will entertain us throughout the entire year, and I sort of feel like it's getting to the point where it's okay. People understand it's okay if Destiny's not your main game 24/7. Like it's okay. Like you jump in an expansion, you do the cool stuff, you get the new powers, you grind until your light level's high enough, and then you jump into the raid or pinnacle events, dungeons, whatever, and then that's okay. You don't I feel like we always put Destiny in a spot that's like it's gonna keep me entertained all the time. I sort of feel like there's a slight change in that because I think a lot of people probably share our concerns is I can't see it ever getting to that point. Well, not with the way it is at the moment. So, but it's still great. Like I'm still going to jump into it every release and and come back to it and enjoy the pinnacle event. But I don't grind it as much as I used to, for sure.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting, right? We didn't really grind it as much as we used to because it had more content, right? It was because it was so new to us.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the progression levels were different though. Like I was reminiscing about this, about how D1 you had to actually invest in your weapons. You had to go and hunt specific resources in various spots to be able to
I love
invest it in the weapon, and like it made it so that once you fully leveled up that new scout rifle that you just got, when scout rifles were good, it felt exciting. It was like, oh, this is my scout rifle. Like I got it from a drop, and it has the rolls that I'm looking for, and I invested time and all that. And nowadays, like I think if you introduce that system to half the player base, half the player base today in Destiny 2 would riot over having to spend time to upgrade.
Half the player base back then also rioted, which is why they took it out. And there was less content back then. So it's really funny. The look back at D1, we have significantly more content and more frequent content coming out.
Destiny has been so many things to so many players too that over time it's like, why did you come to Destiny? Charles of Cyrus. Oh, okay. Well, there's that segment of people. Why'd you come to Destiny? Raids. Okay, well, there's that segment of people.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I really think they've done a good job of evolving it. I know there's all the little things, of this weapon's not right and why are these weapons or changes. But when I played Arrivals, it still like surprised me. I just still can't quite describe what hooked me outside of the being, knowing that I can get good gear, have fun with it. The weekly quest evolved in a way that I thought was interesting. And even the public events, as we refer to them, the contact events, like at first I was very skeptical because of some of the past ones, but I'm like, actually, these are all right. I'll hop in now and then, and adding in, the swords at the ability levels that we had them. And so I don't know, like I'm one of the more, I drop off a lot after the first, big release like we see now. So, I guess what I'm segueing into is like for anyone to think that this release for the next few months at least is not going to be really meaty, I would be shocked because there's always like so much to do. And now there's so much new stuff to learn. I'm not worried about that at all. It's really when we're getting into the dawning and that hits. That's when I think a lot of fans are like, well, what am I going to do? Because I'm not grinding for a new raid and there's not new strikes and there's not new locations, but that is the world we're in now. Why would you expect anything else? And it sounds like that's what you guys are saying is like, yeah, this roadmap looks kind of familiar with maybe some secrets, but very familiar, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. No Time to Explain is a pre-order bonus, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be earnable? Because this has it as a new exotic weapon and armor. So is it going to be earnable as well as being a pre-order bonus?
Is it just the ornament for it as well? Maybe.
It says.
I'll double check this.
There was a screenshot with the catalyst as a pre-order on the trailer today. Catalyst for
okay, so the catalyst is going to be that could be.
Well, it had the catalyst, it had the sparrow and the sparrow skin on the end of the trailer today as bonuses, I think.
Yeah, that's true. The end of the new trailer does show it. I actually had that right in front of me.
This is the first time I'm not pre-ordering.
It's funny. I wasn't either. I will
launch because it's coming to Game Pass, and I'm a Game Pass subscriber, so I'm going to take the free option. But I'm kind of concerned, like if a Catalyst for No Time to Explain ends up being really good, is this going to be the only way to get it?
Are you playing on Xbox then? Because isn't it only it's only coming to Xbox through Game Pass? It's not coming to the PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's not coming to PC. I thought it was coming to PC Game Pass
later on, like I think next year.
Later on, yeah.
Oh,
not on launch.
Interesting. I am misinformed then. So maybe I will have to buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get the pre-order now.
Yeah. Why
I
is it only
mean-
coming to Xbox and not to PC?
Probably marketing and stuff.
They want you to buy an Xbox.
Yeah, they want you to buy an Xbox.
I am buying
I'm
an
sorry.
Xbox.
It's just being.
Maybe I will switch to
Sometimes
Xbox.
the obvious answer is correct. Yep. I would imagine that's true.
Maybe I will switch to Xbox, actually.
You're not
'Cause
going to have.
I
60
am looking
FPS.
forward to the new versions of it.
Yeah,
the
but that's
new-
not. That's going to be, what is it, December 10th for the
Yeah.
next gen patch?
You gonna play 30 FPS until then, Briar?
I
Yeah.
played it for 3 years. I'll
Have
probably
you gone
buy it.
back?
I mean,
though?
what the fuck? I'll buy it. No, I haven't. Only on bets.
Briar, is this because you're broke from all the pre-orders of retro gaming consoles?
Yeah, exactly.
Cop
Yeah,
salary ain't good, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say. By the way, the standard just pre-order that I'm seeing for the digital edition is just receive instant access to the new exotic rhymed ghost shell and a new legendary emblem. That's all it says for the regular $40 pre-order bonus. If you get it's the same for the one that comes with the season, but then they make sure to make it clear that, of course, in the seasonal content, access to season 12 and the No Time to Explain exotic pulse rifle and catalyst. So it seems like that comes with the season, right? It'll be like Tommy's, what's it called? Tommy's
Matchbook.
that's it.
Matchbook.
So I think it'll be a lot
Yeah,
like
that's what I was
that.
thinking. Be like that.
Yeah, but the deluxe edition, the pre-order bonus is the exotic rhymed ghost shell, a new legendary emblem, and the new freeze tag exotic emote. So they throw that in, and then it looks like it also includes an exotic, No Time to Explain ornament, catalyst, and any other exotic spare. So the deluxe edition is what has a lot of the ornaments and stuff. But yeah, like the gun, you'll be able to get as part of the seasonal content. It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had to Google this because I was so confused. It is coming to PC, but it's coming next year.
Yes.
Right.
The Game Pass version of Destiny 2.
Right.
So I didn't know that.
I've been
I
as
thought it would be
confused as you by all that, but I'm playing on PC, so I'm not. I mean, I'm just planning on buying it too. So
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't. I already spent that money.
we can see that. It's a little left over.
Oh my gosh. We didn't talk about the stuff in the TWAB though. We were like,
What else is in there?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
There's a lot.
there's a lot.
Getting into
right?
the power cap,
Yeah.
the bounty thing, which we'll get to. I thought was really interesting. So yeah, there's a lot in there. I'm gonna use the bathroom while you guys spin that up.
I want Briar to read this with his cop glasses on.
I cannot. I have to take the glasses off. I cannot read. with
Okay,
these on.
I'll tell. Also accept Tefty with the Alf mask on.
All right. For some reason, I definitely can't do that. For some reason, my iPad is not like loading the page correctly, so I have to.
They did talk about progression changes here. The soft cap is going to be 1200. The hard cap is going to be 1250, and the pinnacle is going to be 1260. I think they announced the raid with contest mode on was going to be, was it 1230?
I don't
Is
know.
that right?
Yeah, I believe it's 1230.
1230.
With the cap.
So if the soft cap is 1200, which means you'll get up to soft cap really fast, right? That's
Yeah.
usually blues will get you there.
Mhm.
If there's not like some kind of catch up mechanic, to get you there even faster, which there often is these days. So if you want to get into the raid on day one, that means 30 power levels of actual grind, which seems doable, right? That doesn't seem too bad. You got 2 weeks to do it, or almost 2 weeks.
Doesn't seem terrible.
Yeah. The hard cap is 1250. Pinnacle cap, I mean, that's pretty standard, right? It's 50 above the soft cap, 10 above the hard cap.
Yeah.
There are some powerful reward changes. Changes coming that will allow you to have a chance to earn powerful rewards from strikes, gambit, crucible, and seasonal drops all the way up until the hard cap. It will be much quicker to continue to complete all powerful rewards sources each week, But if you just want to play Strikes or Crucible matches all day, every day, you can continue to earn powerful rewards. Hallelujah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
That does create a situation where the more you play, the more you can earn. So if you really are going hard on that raid day, ready raid day,
raid prep.
then literally you can play 24 hours a day and you will be better off than if you played 18 hours a day.
Well, you can't. This doesn't matter how high you get though, right? Because you're going to cap.
Once you
still
hit
capped
the
at 12:30.
You say that, but if you just hit 12:30 and you only have one loadout that'll do it, when you're in a raid, you want a pretty robust loadout, right? You want to have normally it's best to have a pretty wide array of things that you can use once the challenges present themselves. So just barely hitting 12:30 usually isn't where you want to stop. What else is there? Tokens and collections. Destiny is at its best when you are shooting aliens, getting loot, and becoming more powerful. That gameplay loop breaks down when the best way to increase your power can be standing in the tower, handing tokens to shacks. Starting next season, gear received from collections and turning in tokens will have a lower power than in previous seasons. Gear earned through token purchases will be 20 power below your power level, and collection buybacks will be capped at 1050.
Right.
So
20 power below.
You can't just turn in tokens to level out your gear. You won't be able to do that.
Awesome.
Anymore.
This recognizes the problem and doesn't fix it. It makes it. We understand that it sucks to get tokens and turn them in at the tower.
Blow 1,000
So
tokens.
we're making that loot suck.
Well, they don't want people standing there spending 1,000 tokens to get a class item to bring up their level to even it out, which I think you're absolutely right. This doesn't really solve that problem, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't explain, how, well, I don't know. I think there's it's interesting. I'm thinking, about the power per hour and that whole equation. And it's like, I know a lot of people are used to saving stuff up, the bounties and saving up tokens. And it's part of their like day 1 and 2 login of like, oh, I'm just going to keep spending all this stuff until I hit the power cap. And then they're just like sitting there raid ready for those people that have so much of that for a long time. So I personally think it's not fun to do those things. And the farther we get away from that, the better. So, no, I don't think it's going to be as fast as just sitting there and turning in a bunch of tokens and filling in a gap. But hopefully, like we saw with the what are the new emblems called that I love in Arrivals? The Umbral engrams. But hopefully there's a system maybe that we'll see that we don't know about yet that sort of that helped a ton, by the way. Like I didn't need to go to Shacks and everybody else to do that. So maybe that stuff will be there.
Being able to hang out in Strikes or Crucible and get power rewards.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's what they're getting at, right? It's like you can just sit in the playlist now and just keep playing and get the drops instead of leaving and turning in tokens.
Assuming the power per hour is a reasonable rate by doing that. Like if I get one power reward every 3 hours, then that's gonna be a
like if you can't, and you're right about did they fix the problem? It's like if you're like, I really just need some boots. And I have no idea how I'm supposed to get that now that you made this change. That would be a huge issue. But again, I have some faith that, like we saw with the Umbral engrams at the Prismatic Recaster, that's why I was screwing that up. I was thinking of both of those. Yeah. That really gave you a lot of options. So hopefully they've kind of solved some of that by experimenting with that. I mean, Menagerie was starting to do the same thing.
So rereading the powerful reward changes, are we 100% positive that they're saying that you can just sit in Strikes for an entire week and hit the hard cap, right?
Seems like what they're saying. If you want to just sit, if you just want to play Crucible matches all day, every day, you can continue to earn powerful rewards.
So it's like
I assume it goes.
What's the engram that drops the
prime engrams?
Prime engrams. It's like prime engrams then just dropping from activities.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, surely Crucible Rumble's got to be packed. Surely that's gonna be the quickest thing to do.
Yeah,
play
probably.
You know, the
right?
AFK farming's gonna be real.
Hey, my KD's going up. Give me some of those
Oh,
sweet
baby.
AFK kills. There's going to be some economy changes. Obviously, there's going to be materials that no longer exist. So they're getting rid of those. How are they doing it? For those that still have unspent stockpiles at the end of season of the hunt, Spider will be kind enough to offer a small glimmer exchange to take them off your hands. So things like alkane dust, phase glass needles, things that you've earned off of planets that no longer exist.
Yeah, I spent hard-earned
the
glimmer on those, man.
Yeah.
been
Well, you're
stocking
getting
up.
some of that glimmer back.
I guess so.
Well, they're
And that
saying
note that it does say starting in season 13, not starting
Oh,
in
okay.
season 12.
That's a good point.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
worth
and
noting.
bounties, which will
It's
read
getting to
on
be like
next.
iPhones. I
Same
can't
thing.
really keep track of which iPhone
I
we're
know.
on.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
What's the newest one? I'll take that.
yeah.
Bounties, back in late April, they shared some plans on how to tackle the problem of bounty fatigue. They have made some shifts to seasonal bounties and reduced their importance on earning seasonal currency and seasonal progress. They're happy with these changes, apparently. One of the plans previewed was to eventually replace weekly bounties with a new mechanism to provide players with a set of non-expiring and account-scoped objectives each week that will grant lots of seasonal rank progress. Still working on that system, and we'll share more on it before targeted release.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I was immediately bummed though that it was not this season.
Yeah.
Of the hunt.
Yeah.
Season 12. Because I really thought new destination, bunch of changes. Like I assume they were really trying to get it ready, and they just need more time, and so be it. But I don't like grinding up, the whole grinding a ton of bounties to get your artifact up, or your season pass. So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait till the end more section of the roadmap, I guess.
Right. Season pass.
There's season pass changes. The season pass free path will now offer 7,500 bright dust. The own path will offer 3,000 bright dust, and weekly bounties will now award 100 bright dust.
Now, I've heard some people doing some math with this, and even with the 10,500 bright dust being in the season pass, overall, if you're one of those people that does the weekly bounties on all your characters and you do every bounty you possibly can, you end up with less bright dust. So I don't know. So this could be a change.
This change would make it less, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Than before.
Yeah.
This is what you expect to see, though, right? As time goes on. At first, they were pretty liberal with the bright dust, and as time goes on, they're going to get cheaper with it and eventually phase it out entirely.
So the thing that I see this as doing is if you are just a player who just you play one character, you play through the season and you just have a good time, you're going to be getting more bright dust because you probably were not doing the weekly bounties for bright dust on every single character and going crazy with that. Whereas now you're going to be getting 10,500 bright dust from the season pass. So you're going to just get that from just playing. You don't have to pick up the weekly bounties. You don't have to go out of your way. You're just going to get it. So for your casual kind of normal player, which is me, because I don't do any of that, I'm going to be getting more bright dust than currently.
Yeah, that's what I
If
did.
you had 3 characters, you're going to get less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't really sound
I
like
don't
a
know, hopefully
solution. Sounds like a compromise.
I don't know though. Like, I don't remember how much. If you got a little bright dust from the previous season pass and stuff, right?
A little bit,
I
yeah.
just paid attention.
Like 100 here and there.
But was it anywhere near this? Like 7,000 or 10,500?
No.
It was nowhere near this.
So-
It's significantly more. It's a buff to people who just play one character. If you are super
Which is
hardcore and you're doing
most
the
everybody.
3 characters, then you're losing out. For most people, it's probably going to be an increase.
Yeah, and I don't want to minimize the importance of, because those are your most hardcore players. So I was saying, hopefully they've got other stuff for them to grind and reasons why bright dust shouldn't be as important to you. But it does beg the question of like, I've been holding on to my Bright Dust because it does seem like it's such a pain to get. And if I ever want anything, I want a big surplus. This seems like they're giving us a lot, so maybe more to buy. But, you know, I don't know if we saw anything in here. I didn't have a chance to read through this. I had a busy day, but like we all want to be able to earn more stuff in the world. And are we seeing that? You know, I can hear a lot less about earning Bright Dust so I can go to a store and buy it. I care more about, you know, we've all been playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends a ton, and it's got some just amazing vanity items and be able to show off that you did whatever. To use the example, I did Nightfall at the highest level, and I had this exclusive vanity item I earned, and so on. They need a lot more of that. So anyway, I mean, I'm happy to get more Bright Dust, but I'd rather just have to earn.
They just need to put it in more spots. Like if you do Grandmaster Nightfall, give a nice, like the first time for that week, give a nice like drop of Bright Dust. If you complete the raid, give a drop of Bright Dust. Like, why not?
Yeah, I guess they could do that too.
That's not a bad idea.
I just want to earn the items.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather earn the items ultimately, but that's not the world we exist in anymore.
No.
But I wouldn't mind getting hey, you just beat the raid. First time, here's 500 Bright Dust. Go buy yourself something nice. You're a special kind of dude.
You're a hardcore player, so you beat the raid on all 3 characters, so you get an extra bump of Bright Dust for your effort on there. Yeah. I'm hoping that
that's not a bad idea.
I'm hoping they just didn't put it in here because it does seem like they're cutting the hardcore players' efforts here, and that's. Like I said, it's a compromise. It's not really a solution.
They could find a way to even it out, right? Where it's like, so the me and you, probably a lot of you guys who just play the game and do the season pass, you're going to be getting more. But if you do want to go that extra mile and do the bounties, it evens out so you earning the same or maybe a bit more. I'm sure they could find a way to even it out. That would be good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like it shouldn't be, if it is really that simple math and it's just a little off. They're either making a decision that they don't want you earning as much, and it just they didn't want to say it very clearly, or I don't know the exact number, but maybe that's it. It's like the real message here is not that they made these changes so you won't earn as much by call it accident. It's literally like they want to give players who do one character more right up front, but the players who really grind, you're just gonna come down a little bit from what we were used to, and you're gonna have to buy some silver instead. I don't know, but yeah, I'd rather earn the
silver
stuff
though.
I don't know. Do you guys feel? I mean, it's Briar's favorite topic. Do you feel that the changes they've made? They said we're gonna make it clear what will be silver only purchases, and we've put a lot more into Bright Dust. Do you feel that it's evolved and it's evolved in the right direction?
Definitely. The microtransactions compared to where Destiny 1 was or Destiny 2 was at launch have gotten a ton better. Where it was, it was pretty much just gambling, like just throwing your money at the screen and hoping you got what you were looking for. Now you know exactly what you're paying for. It's not, it's not cheap to buy the stuff. And if you have Bright Dust, it feels a whole lot better, but at least you know what you're buying now. So it's definitely better than it was at launch. Unfortunately, in a loot-based game, it still sucks to have to buy loot,
Yeah. I think everyone would prefer, if you just earned it. I think that's probably not the question. I think, like, I always question, I mean, engrams are loot boxes, and I always feel like Destiny's flown under that conversation, that radar, because they just don't typically look like a loot box. And when this stuff was happening, I was like, I can tell you right now, they got rid of the random chance of it because of those laws that were coming in, and EA just got flamed and still being sued by it, and they couldn't have gambling in it.
100%.
And that's why it was deleted more than anything.
Yeah.
So
I
don't have an issue with it, because I'm not like I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore. I think there's lots of people out there that really miss being able to grind for the cosmetics, and the fact that you can buy it rather than grind for it still upsets them. I think a lot of people are in that boat still.
Yeah. I've just I just accept it at this point, and I do like how they have certain pieces go on sale for Bright Dust from time to time. I just wish that it wasn't such a stingy economy. I feel like you just have to 100% dedicate every possible thing that you can do every week and make sure you check off every possible list, and then you barely have enough at that point. You know, I feel like you're always running a bit dry on Bright Dust, and I mean it's by design because they want you to spend money on silver. So I do get that. I just wish it was a little bit more lenient, a little bit more free on giving you Bright Dust to feel like you can like spend it here and there, and then on the off chance you just feel like I got to spend some silver because I'm missing out on this one thing that I really want.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to see those numbers side by side, because part of this could literally be, it was like, wait, we're giving you a bunch of Bright Dust so it's easier to buy stuff. And I don't know though. I don't have the two numbers in front of me and like how easy, but I'd be hitting on what you said. I found it was so stingy. I was just always afraid to buy that I felt like I couldn't enjoy it, you know? So
I pasted something in chat, Fran, that was from Forcado, who nailed down some of the math for you to know exactly what's happening. Essentially, it's a net loss of 7,500 dust per season.
If you were a hardcore player.
Apparently.
And yeah, I was wondering, like, if you just do
Allegedly.
the season pass like us just once, you know, what is that side by side? So be curious.
You know, the thing that I think that like swings this conversation, I think it was it Whisper of the Worm that they basically came out and said, hey, this pretty much paid for the next dungeon when we did that skin.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone's like, yeah, I'll buy a skin if that means we get more dungeons, you know? But it's sort of like, you can't, as a developer, you can't be like, hey guys, if we reach our goal of buying this skin, we'll make you another dungeon, you know? It's sort of like, you got to offer it. And if enough people do it, we got more money so we can make more content. But you can't sort of threaten to not provide content unless you do microtransactions, because that would not be fun. But people are happy with the idea of, oh, a really cool skin comes out. That was awesome that we got to get that skin, and it also meant that we got maybe content we wouldn't have got otherwise from what Bungie says. So it's still a sticky topic though.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of running a business and running a game company. So
totally, yeah. Well, it just so with the season, if you're a hardcore player, like what you posted in chat or what Forcado posted in chat, 36,000 Bright Dust per season if you play on all three characters and do everything. All right. On average, that's about 10 purchases of like the exotic stuff that you want. You know, like the good stuff usually is about 3,500 Bright Dust. You know, you can get some like lower tier emotes for 500 and other emotes that are like, you know what I'm saying? Like some less interesting emotes are 500, 1,500. And then like the good stuff is usually 3,500. So that's 10 purchases over the course of 3 months that you can get if you knock out everything on the list currently. And that's the problem that I see right now is it's just too stingy to feel like you really can go and earn that stuff with Bright Dust. It's like, it's more of you happen to have some extra Bright Dust, spend it, and now buy the silver to get the rest. Like that's how it's built. And obviously they got to make their money, so I get it.
Yeah. I think the fact that we've had to talk about it this much shows how like confusing it still is. And let's hope some of these changes help a lot, because I'm 100%, and based on what you're still saying there, Tev's like, dude, like, what is it? Three-ish good items that you're going to be able to buy from finishing the pass. There's a lot of items in there that I don't have.
If you own the season pass, the owned one, then it's 10,000 total. So that is roughly, three-ish good items, you know, chunky items.
Yeah, and I've
somewhere in the middle of that conversation, I realized that I'm hanging on every word of the man who's dressed in an Alf costume. I just had to laugh.
I wish I could keep the hat on. It's just so damn hot. Just burning up in this thing, and I can't.
You could like post it up on top of your head, maybe.
Yeah, can you put it like up on top?
Get a little like Alf,
like an Alf hat,
peeking over,
like Alf cap,
an Alf hat.
Yeah,
that works.
I mean,
you're gonna get hot.
That's a whole new thing.
You look very cozy.
Why did you not tell it? Why
you look like a Ghost
of
Tsushima character. It's like a Ghost Tsushima
you can wear that
skin.
for the raid tomorrow.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I like it.
I'm
raid boss confirmed.
I'm supposedly going to be playing Dream Daddy on Saturday night with this outfit on. And
we're playing Dream Daddy right now, Ted. Everybody's playing now.
And you're winning.
I play it every Thursday.
All right.
Is there anything else in the TWAB we got to go over?
Spiders.
We didn't talk about Spider's dealings at all.
Oh, Spider. Yeah. He's losing. So Spider is no longer to have legendary shards.
They basically said no one buys them.
Yeah, nobody's fucking with that shit anymore. They're taking another look at enhancement core exchange, and they're making some changes. The ascending cost mechanism has been removed, and in its place, Spider will now sell you 5 enhancement cores a day for a fixed price of 30 legendary shards each.
So basically, if you want the dumbed down version, which we'll give you because we're stupid, you are paying less legendary shards for 5 enhancement cores in the new model that they're doing. So you're limited to the amount that you can purchase, but you're paying less.
It used to
those.
go up. Like if you bought one
Yeah.
set of enhancement cores, it cost you a certain amount. And if you bought the next
Kept
set,
doubling.
would cost you a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until it became unaffordable.
Yeah, they kept on doubling it, the cost.
Yeah.
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 And a few people initially just kept pressing the button and went broke. So they were like,
Guilty.
So they're changing it for
Where's
that.
all my
But
money?
they're doing something which I think a lot of people aren't super happy about. But Spider
that?
will now sell enhancement prisms,
Yeah.
and these will cost 400 legendary shards per
Yeah.
prism.
Those are the
And you
golf
can only
balls, right?
purchase 3 a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like in general, putting aside the math on it because I just have no idea right now. I like that it's maybe indicating we might have a little easier time masterworking stuff. It's been so absurd to me, the things that they want you to do to be able to masterwork. It feels like a super exclusive thing to do where I think it could be a lot of fun for people, and with transmog coming and all that, like I want to be in a place where it feels a lot less risky to hit the top. And I do weapons, of course. When it comes to armor and that, I'm like, I don't know. I just stay away from it because I'm like, I'm going to waste all my stuff and throw it away next season. Right. So, so I hope this is bringing us closer to like, you have some other routes.
That is so expensive for a prism.
That's very expensive.
Like I would be okay if it was a shard, ascendant shard. Then I'd be like, all right, well, it's a ascendant shard, sure. But like prisms,
yeah.
And you can't buy legendary shards anymore. So you have to.
Nope.
Yeah.
It wasn't popular. It might be popular now that
It
you're
might be popular
adding-
now, but fuck you, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not backing the price. Maybe they're really afraid of like how much people are sitting on the economy. And until that sort of levels out, it's like, yeah, we're all
It's
going
Tefty's fault. You know how many legendary shards he has? They were looking at Tefty's account like,
Probably. It is. It's people like you.
I have 16.
And see, they want to deplete.
639.
I always felt this.
How
I always
much?
felt this system was meant to be
16,639 legendary
exclusive.
shards.
Jeez.
You bumped up the data,
this system
Tefty.
is for the
Tefty's fault.
the hardest of core, right?
Yeah.
Which those people need to be served too.
Mm-hmm.
You're all the problem. You're welcome.
I am not going to be blowing my legendary shards on prisms. 400 per prism? That is getting swindled. That's some like
Well, it is Spider.
But you are what are you going to use your 17,000 legendary shards for now, Teft?
Clout. I'll be like, look at all of my legendary shards. Look
There
at
it
this
is.
pile. Are you not
Yeah,
jealous?
it's literally like
I'll be sitting on it like this, being like, welcome.
I just imagine Tev's spaceship coming into land. It's just lopsided from all the legendary
it spills out. They're shattering all over.
It's like I'm picking it up with my arms and the shards keep
Like
falling
a
out.
station wagon with like 8 kids in the back, just like dragging the bumper across the road.
Oh, Scrooge
trying to
McDuck.
take off. More power.
Yeah, no, this is what I want to do. I want to fill up the back of the spaceship like a pool, but it's actually legendary shards, and I swim in it like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, melt them down. I like this.
It's the little things. Right?
Yep.
Watch, you listed off like 3 things, but I forgot the other 2 things.
We gotta go fast.
Gotta go
Basically,
fast.
what they're doing to sparrows, you know how you always want the speed demon thing because without speed demon it feels bad.
Yeah.
They're just like we're putting speed demon on all of the sparrows. You don't need
They
to use
announced
a
that
mod
before,
slot.
right? This isn't
I
new.
think so.
Maybe.
I think
But
they
you-
did. I
It
remember
sounds
this being-
familiar. Maybe they didn't
Yeah.
get this specific though.
But
Maybe.
yeah, it says starting in Beyond Light, all sparrows, both legendary and exotic, will innately summon instantly, even without the Transmat preloader perk. As a result, there's no need to use your ghost mods to impact this functionality. So that's great. They also said that so if you have like a sparrow that you really like, you can get rid of the one you currently have and pull one out from collections, and it will have this stuff innately on it.
Oh, that's nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like when they do that. I like that little tiny sparrow, especially with my
Shredder.
Titan.
Oh yeah,
You
the
know,
little
the one-
skidoo.
It's what I thought of when in the trailer it was like the stranger watching the Guardians arrive on their sparrows, and I was like, yeah, we're all gonna arrive on our little scooty.
Oh yeah.
Stranger's gonna be impressed.
Teft, how are you gonna fit all
Uh-huh.
your legendary shards in that little,
So a
Skidoo,
little
skidoo,
tiny
dude?
scoot.
Yeah.
Scoot.
It's
Good
just going to
stuff.
be like a big bag like Santa, you know? How he's going
Oh,
to
Space
space magic.
magic. You always forget
It
about
is
space
snowy.
magic.
Yeah, space magic. But like Santa's pack is like the original space magic, right? He's got a world full of presents right there. So it's like a world full of legendary shards.
Okay, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Can I have 400 legendary shards, please?
Have you been a good boy this year?
I'll put my tether.
Look at who he's
exactly what you
dressed
tell me.
Aldrin.
Looking at the ledger.
Were you good this year?
Things don't really
As
add
far
up.
as he can remember, he's been good.
I'm not rezzing you in tomorrow's Ghost of Tsushima raid. I'll leave you to that.
Is that it for the TWAB? Can we talk to?
Nope.
Can we do the Twitter question?
You're gonna skip the Eververse section?
Yeah.
so
Briar's
unlike you,
skipping the
Briar.
Eververse
Every
section.
time.
I think this is Briar saying he's done talking about Eververse. Good
Yep.
to know.
What is the change?
It wasn't that big a deal.
They're making the drops from basically the previous season for the current season.
Yeah,
or the
Bright-
current Ingram.
Bright Engrams.
1 through whatever it was.
Yeah, it'll be season 1 to 3 seasons prior to the current season, excluding content from special events like Festival of the Lost, The Dawning, etc. This reads like a legal document.
It
Like,
really
well,
does.
geez, man.
They have to.
Signing
The
away my-
fans will roast them if they don't.
No, it's true.
Have you ever been on Reddit?
Yeah. But the new season, which is season 12, season of the hunt, those Bright Engrams contain all content from seasons 1 through 9. But the next season after launch, season 13, those Bright Engrams will contain all content from seasons 1 through 10. So you're seeing the 3 back from where you're at,
Yeah,
I think is what it's trying to illustrate there.
there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're ready, Briar.
All right.
Only super serious questions.
Yeah.
Only.
Mhm.
So I should start at the bottom of the list. You're saying? First question isn't a question. Spooky Mask SZN says the art is always amazing, but this is probably the best one I've ever seen. Wow. I just like to throw these in because Ash is such a wonderful artist.
Ash is
and
amazing.
I feel lucky to have her.
So good.
So
yeah, Myelin,
lucky.
your art was amazing.
That art was
And
top notch.
Thank you, Ash.
because we were talking, because obviously it's the Halloween episode and we're about to take control of the darkness. There's like a lot of dark themes going on. So we're in the DM and we're like, hey, Myelin, how do you feel about being spooky?
It was
And-
awesome.
Yeah. So
Dredging.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
So
I-
Ash now said that this is kind of a theme she's going to run with for a bit for new
Cool.
portraits.
Ooh, a darkness theme. I
Seeing as
like
it's
this.
we're delving into the darkness. So I'm really excited.
And I have to
Art's
say,
amazing.
Briar, if I was you, I would probably still pull this and just use it as your profile pic as well. I feel like you could get away with
You
it.
think I can get away
Oh
with
yeah,
it?
Chat. What do you think? I feel like if Myelin doesn't mind and Ash doesn't, you're just like,
Go.
dude, check out my new avatar. It's dope.
I'm really
I think-
excited because for the Retro Slot podcast, Ash is going to draw me and Jay Sniperton in like an 8-bit version.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
So-
Very cool.
That's coming. Like Ash is super busy right now. She is
Mhm.
crazy busy. So like, you know, we're just like happy to wait for whatever she's gonna give us because it's so good.
Mhm.
But man, I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
That's cool.
That's gonna be my forever avatar.
That's you all the way, Brian.
Old Buckness says, I listen every week, but I've never been more excited than I am for Myelin Games to be the guest. Also, prepare your ears for the C-bomb. Laugh out loud. It's okay. He's Australian.
I've been very well behaved. I mean, very well behaved.
Coca-Cola?
I was wondering if there's a way to like get like a C-bomb pass. You know, like is there like by way of no, Fran's already
you're
shaking
just
his head,
treading in the wrong direction right now. Like go back to shore. Trust me.
Right.
I mean, it depends if you like monetization or not, to be honest.
That's right.
That's why there's so few Australian content creators. We get demonetized.
I wonder how many it takes, per hour segment to get demonetized. I'm assuming you could slip it.
Your CPH?
I'm guessing the DDU podcast knows that exact number.
Oh mate, there's no money coming in through DDU. Billy the Butcher's my spirit animal. That's for sure. Yep.
If anybody doesn't know, besides your regular content, you're also on the Destiny Down Under podcast, which is a fantastic podcast.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to be a guest one lovely evening. Unfortunately, you weren't there that evening, but I had a blast hanging out with those guys. It was a legitimately wonderful time. I'd highly recommend hanging out.
Yeah. We like to give the Americans an option to just let rip with the C-bomb, and it's an experience.
I bet. It's like if you teach a kid a new word, and they learned it for the first time. It probably is a lot like that.
Yeah.
Just pointing at everything and just C word.
Yeah.
No,
it's really frowned upon here.
It is. I was gonna say you get very different reaction. I mean, any Australian that's worked outside of an office job, it's a joining word. It's a noun. It's a god particle of a word. It's your sense and structure itself.
Justin says, as the Thane of the lore hobbits, can you please get these three and the walking buffet up to speed on what's going on?
The walking buffet?
That hurts, motherfucker, Justin. They hurt my lore hobbit soul every time they attempt to talk about the lore.
Do you talk about Lord of the Rings? Because that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Ooh. I do have the collector's edition book. I don't know if you want to finish with that, or you want me to jump into that now, or you want to finish with Twitter questions, but I can run you through. Yeah?
Give us a rundown. That's it.
Yeah.
I just so I don't end up just talking forever, I try to make it a bit more quiz-like and just see what kind of just test my students what the baseline is, just to find out
Isn't that our job?
where we are. Yeah, okay. Go on then. Go on.
Ask some questions about the book.
I'll call that bluff, mate. Yeah, go on. Ask the question, mate.
Briar's getting
what point was the original particle of the C word originated in the lore?
Well, back in Anthology Volume 1. By the way, I might have curated that one. No, listen, right? Clover Spray. This whole book. Let's talk about spoilers. Okay. Some people consider the collector's edition book spoilers. I do not. I consider it like a pre-reading. Shadowkeep was basically a pre-reading, because if you didn't read Shadowkeep collector's edition book, you had a really hard time understanding the artifact at the end of the campaign. So I don't consider the collector's edition spoilers, because Bungie knows that they're going to be shipped prior to release, and I can't imagine. I think what you could do, right? This is how it could be considered spoilers. You probably could get close to predicting things, and you could get lucky and predict a raid event, a raid boss, a major narrative plot line, but it's not going to be spelt out. So it's all speculation, but it's probably hidden in there in some way. So that's that's sort of the warning on that. If you're the kind of person that doesn't like listening to lore until you've unlocked it in game, you probably need to leave. If you don't mind, and I think you think it complements the game, then stick around. So that's that. This lore book is really about Clover Spray, the Exo Stranger, and the origin story of how Exos were created, which is pretty big, and it's a pretty girthy book. It's a big book. So
that's one of my safe
Thick and
words.
juicy.
Girth.
Yeah.
safe word.
That's also Briar's classification of meat as well when he gets cooked.
What do you got? What do you know about Clover Spray? Do you know where's the baseline on Clover Spray?
I know how to spell it for sure.
Yeah.
Good
Mars,
It's a building.
Deep
There's a
Stone
building.
Crypt,
building?
Anna
Deep Stone
and her
Crypt?
sister,
Mhm.
you know, architecting
Right.
the Exos.
Right. So there's a Bray
Making
family.
engrams also. Didn't they architect the engrams?
They create hot
Willa
ladies.
Bray?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang, Taft.
Mhm.
You're the lore
Right.
expert over
Well,
here.
maybe you guys do
I'm
know.
just
a bunch
trying to,
of
you
lore.
know,
So,
make
yeah,
sure
I
we're
do
staying
not.
on topic
I do
here
from-
with the C
Do you
word.
guys hear
all
that?
right?
Wait. We need everyone to understand and pay attention. The Myelin said maybe you guys do know about the lore. So all of you
Mhm.
saying that our lore is ridiculous.
I think this podcast
Can't say that anymore.
That's a
has
back in the
reached-
box quote right there.
We're
DCP.
certified.
I think we've reached full podcast tonight.
Myelin
right?
certified.
maybe you guys do know something. Put it right. So yes, Clover Spray was the words on a building because the guy who created the corporation Clover Spray was also the same name as the company. So that's why you see Clover Spray on the buildings or CB or some sort of symbol like that, because it was named after the same dude, which will make sense in a moment because he is very egotistical, so he wouldn't name the company anything other apart from himself. And yes, he had a family, like Tef said. It's made more clear the sort of family tree. So Clover Spray had a son, Clover Spray II, who had children. Anna Bray was adopted by Clover Spray II. Elsie Bray or Elizabeth Bray, the Exo Stranger, was a biological daughter, and Willa Bray was there too, who made the engrams. Once again, extra points for Tef. Tef's definitely in the lead. Willa Bray created the engram technology. She was there as well. And Alton Bray, which we don't really get much. So those characters are the grandchildren of Clover Spray. And that's made really obvious in this new lore.
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, really obvious. So the kind of character that Clover Spray is, he's not a good grandfather. He is a very, very bad person. And just to give you an example, he somehow removed the DNA of the mother from Clover Spray II to replace it with himself. Okay.
Oh,
That's a little weird, not gonna lie.
that's like cloning then, isn't it? Like you basically have an exact clone of yourself.
This is idea, and this is how we get to someone wanting to be immortal. This idea, he wants to be what he refers to as the last universal common ancestor, the Luca, Luca. And he likens that to that egotistical, narcissistic he is. He likens that to, okay, if we trace humans back to, we evolved from walking fish. He wants to be the next pivotal point of interstellar humanity. If you if in a millennia time, if you trace it back, it leads back to Clover Spray. He's the origin of evolution to robotic human, well, not really
He
human.
wants to be like
Nobody
the
remembers
template.
the name of the fish, though.
No.
Yeah, but
He
in
wants to
this
be
case,
that.
though, it sounds like he wants
It was
to.
George the walking fish. Everybody knows that.
In this case, it sounds like he wants to be the actual template of the technology that everyone's copied off of, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Pretty close to that. So on top of that, Clover Spray has some sort of genetic disorder, which it was definitely passed down to some of his grandchildren. At the very least, we know it was passed down to the Exo Stranger. So this starts the time the Exo Stranger's origin story.
Interesting.
And essentially, their body is just breaking down. You don't really know what the genetic disorder is, but he is sort of kept alive by organs from pigs. So they're just constantly doing transplants to keep him alive. And that's the original reason to try to transfer to an exo body, so to preserve himself, but also to become this last universal common ancestor of humanity. So it's sort of two-pronged things. He's like, I don't want to die, but I also want to be the center of the universe, essentially.
And he's got bad genes, so if we were all to have his genes, we'd be screwed.
Right. So Clovis Bray II has it, and so does Elsie Bray. So this disorder that's going to kill them. And so you need to head over to Exos. Figured out pretty quickly that it's not a good idea to move the human mind into an exo body. His son, who he replaced, by the way, with having his own genetics, ripped himself apart. They put the mind of a human into an exo, and they didn't put limiters on the muscles yet. So, you know, like in human bodies, we have like proprioception. We know that we can't go past a certain force point. They sort of forgot to do that.
I deal with this problem every day. So strong.
It's a genetic disorder, not having those limits on your body.
Yeah.
Essentially watched his son rip himself apart from being put into an exo body.
Wait, they didn't have a backup?
No. So they talk about, to do this transfer, it's a one-off event. You got to get it right the first time. Actually, no, that's not true. Clovis Bray II's mind is still in Clovis Bray's library, potential raid boss, I think, or something like that. So it has these stores of the human mind still there, but they do talk about. Well, Clovis Bray talks about, I only have one shot to get this right. So obviously, all of the grandchildren don't like granddad because their father was ripped apart going into an exo body. So they're like, well,
Makes
granddad,
sense.
you're not very nice. You know, we watched dad rip himself apart.
Yeah.
What Clovis Bray thinks is an issue with the human mind going into exo body is that machines are too perfect. And in a human body, we have this aspect of, we are essentially dying all the time, and our body's checking up on that. And when you put it into a machine, it's perfect, right? It doesn't degrade like a biology would. And so he thinks that has some sort of issue with the human mind basically just degrading in this robotic machine, and you sort of go through a process of describing all the barriers that happens. So the solution to what he calls giving exos messiness in their brain, and there's a bit of a hint that's one of the reasons why they might do the memory wipes. It's a bit of a hint in there that might have started the memory wipes, because when you can't remember something, it almost mimics what would happen in normal, you know, human bodies. You don't have a machine memory. You don't have a perfect memory of everything. But his solution is Vex milk mixed with darkness, essentially, and this is well simplified.
Sounds like a line on ST.
It's they actually go through, they discover the Vex production factory, which is a star forge. They basically discover where the Vex are making the robotics.
I'm sorry,
casings.
Is the Star Forge exactly what it sounds like?
It is a literal sun that the Vex are basically using as a forge.
Oh, okay.
To make bronze. And yes, and it's described really cool. And they do that by stealing Vex components, making a Vex gate. They go through and see it. The people that go through and see this is Elsie Bray, the Exo Stranger, Clovis Bray, Maes Underesh from the Ishtar Collective. So we have some pretty important characters seeing the Vex Starforge and realizing that Vex aspects of the Vex milk, the Vex radiolarin fluid may be helpful in transferring the human mind. Other thing that happens is they basically continue. This is a long book, and I apologize. I'm just gonna just spout rubbish for so long, and I'm sorry.
No, it's super interesting.
Okay, good. I feel like sometimes I talk too much on this. Anyway, clarity.
I'm getting all kinds of clarity right now.
Just throw in some C words every now and then, wake people up.
Yeah.
Well,
Clover spray is a C. That's for sure.
Yes.
I got it.
Appropriate.
Well done.
Yeah.
Clarity. It doesn't say that it's a darkness, but Clover Spray talks about clarity, and he links it back to the Shadowkeep edition collector's book, where they found the artifact. And we don't really know what the artifact is. We think it's linked to the pyramid ships. We think that it brought upon the collapse. It's darkness orientated, and they find a similar artifact in this book. I think it could actually be the veiled statues that the artifacts in front of.
Mm-hmm.
So they find this sort of artifact piece, and it has an impact on Clover Spray, very similar to how Eris Morn has nightmares. And I think Clover Spray was not a nice person, but like that darkness, like whispering in your ear, it really exaggerated. I need to do this. I need to be the best. I need to be the last common universal. It sort of feeded into the ego.
He cranked the C word meter to 11.
Right up to full Australian. From American, full-blown bogan thongs, not the bum thongs, the toe thongs,
Okay.
The singlet, right?
Perfect pictures coming into place, yeah.
Right, full Australian. So what clarity does as a darkness aspect is reduces things to their components. And so he has this idea that if we run Vex milk over darkness and reduce whatever Vex is to its components, it will keep the part of the Vex that we need to transfer the human mind. And that's a tough explanation. But essentially what he says is exo immortality is like a dash of Vex milk with darkness. And they go through that production cycle. The very end of the book, Clover Spray actually never does it. It doesn't end with him transferring himself into an exo. They start production of exos, and he says, I'm not going to do it yet because I want it to be perfect. I'm not going to test immortality on myself. I'm going to wait until I know that it's definitely going to happen because my body's completely, gone. He's still being kept alive by machines and pig transplants. But I plan on doing it. And we also know, and Elsie Bray refuses to do it. But we know that she was there. She went through, she saw the Vex, she saw the Vex milk. She has the components to work out how to become the Exo Stranger. We just don't know how she did that yet. But she has all the research that her dad did or her grandfather did. She's obviously going to take a different path and become the Exo Stranger at some point. But it's not documented in the book yet.
Probably be online.
That is the brief version.
Wow.
Yeah, that's super fascinating. So does that mean that
it is fascinating.
Does that mean that a Vex milk and that cocktail of darkness and Vex milk and the exo stuff is in every exo? Like Cade and Weaponsmith and all that? I would assume that there is a combo of it's called clarity, but I'm going to speculate that it's actually darkness, of Vex milk poured over darkness to help with the mind transfer.
Where can I get some darkness?
Yeah, it sounds
clarity.
like a nice Black Russian. Like a is what this is.
It's interesting that they call it clarity too, though. With all the things that like the darkness has said to us, calling it clarity is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like it's this idea of darkness is your salvation. It's saying that darkness is not the bad guy. It's part of a cycle. They introduce it to the exos because it adds this entropy, this like degradation to the mind. It mimics biology, so we need to sort of make sure that our robots aren't perfect because their mind just freaks out when you dump them in there. So we need, and that is true of life, right? That's the whole point of light and darkness, is that
the balance.
Light creates and darkness reaps the crops, right? And starts the cycle over again. Just like there's a reason why humans aren't immortal, like we are meant to die. So it's sort of like this idea of, it makes sense. Add darkness to exos to mimic entropy.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, he was
Tests
full of a bunch
will
of.
be next week. 20 multi-choice questions. Please
At
study
least
doing
it's
your
multiple
pre-readings.
choice.
I have a
I
question.
have a stomach ache.
I need some clarity. What specific organs were pig organs that he was replaced with? In case it's
was
on the
his
test.
nose replaced? Did he
I
have a
think
pig nose?
I want to. Hold on, let me just search for pig in my document. I
Pig
think
kidney?
Pig ear?
Pig liver? Pig.
kidneys.
Ooh, pig liver is delicious.
Mostly kidneys.
He wasn't eating them, you know.
Mostly
No, he was being
kidneys.
swapped out.
Okay.
How'd they get him in there, then, Fran?
He drank it with a stiff glass of Vex milk,
Poured
poured
some
over
clarity
ice
on
with
it. Clarity.
a shot of darkness, stirred lightly.
Clarity
with,
pig liver.
I want
With
a
a
new
nice
liquor
pig
called
garnish.
Clarity.
So I'm pretty sure it exists.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
there's got to be a clarity liquor already.
If it doesn't, we should patent it and put the DCP seal of approval on it.
It'll just be moonshine, though. Let's face it. But
I'm okay with that.
you're
So I think Deep Stone Crypt. Oh, right. So all this production factor was Deep Stone Crypt. So this is
Right.
all the lore of the raid. So that's why we saw the
This is where we're
those
going.
screenshots of the Vex next to the Exo frame, right? That now gives a reason to that back. You know, the trailer that had the Vex and Exo next to each other. So that's the idea there, is that they're taking the Vex fluid and using it for the mind transfer. So that's how the Vex end up in that storyline. And going into Deep Stone Crypt, I honestly think the book ends with Clovis not transferring his mind. I think we could have a robot overlord in Deep Stone Crypt of some sort, whether that's
Like a
Clovis
war
or
mind?
his-
What if he transferred it into a war mind?
Yeah, I think you could have a war mind like situation when you have someone
I
controlling.
like that.
Deep
It's like,
Stone Crypt.
yeah, Briar, definitely. Yeah, it's
Good point. Good points for trying, Brian.
Good job,
Very
Brian.
good
That was
points for
very
trying.
creative, innovative thoughts there, Brian.
So-
C+.
You will get a star.
Like I
Does
would.
Does
I
this
would-
jibe with the older lore from Destiny 1 that they made exos to go into portals to like investigate the Vex?
Yeah, this is the part I haven't looked at a hell of a lot, and there's actually a really confusing timeline. So what I didn't quite mention was Clovis Bray. So Ishtar Collective on Venus were researching the Vex during the Golden Age, right? And Clovis Bray went and killed a bunch of them to capture a Vex specimen, to build his Vex gate, to go through and work out how to capture Vex milk and, create immortality. One of the main researchers, Maya Sundaresh, at some point came over to Clovis Bray, but they were doing similar tech. They didn't necessarily make an exo to explore the Vex network with Ishtar Collective, but they did make digital copies of themselves. So there's likely some crossover between Ishtar Collective and Clovis Bray, and that comes down to Maya Sundaresh, who I always thought was going to be the Exo Stranger, and Elsie Bray ended up being it.
Interesting.
So she's involved in there some way.
Man, I would love to go to that Starforge in the raid. Wouldn't that be cool? Like you enter the Deep
That
Stone
would be
Crypt,
cool.
you do some stuff, and then there happens to be you got to go through the Vex Gate, and then you end up at that Starforge.
I
Yeah,
think we're gonna
that-
find some Minotaurs with
It's like playing Lord
pig
on
heads.
Fire.
There's gonna be Minotaurs walking around. They're gonna have pig heads. One's gonna have like a pig foot.
Oh, I love it. Watch.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
want a
be
pig
floor
boss.
on lava the whole time. You just you
Mhm.
can't. It's hot.
Yeah, is there any chance that the boss is actually Ganon from Zelda? who is basically
Good question.
a mutated
Solid
giant
question.
pig.
Has he
Not
been
Ganondorf.
experimenting on Cade's body, and he's the raid boss?
Because
I'm going to give a lot of
got a
points for
big head.
creativity. I'm going to give a lot of creativity points out today. Very good. Nice.
We're free thinkers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Gonna
move
put
on
that
with
down on
Twitter
the board.
questions. Vault Hunter says, with Transmog eventually making its way to the game, what are some of your favorite armor pieces or sets that you're gonna make first? Got anything
Well-
favorite that you're gonna transmog right away?
Transmog is until season 13, I think, right? I think now this came out in the interview today, but I believe it was, well, I say I'm not 100% sure. I thought I read that but whatever. When
I don't think
happens,
it's coming this season. I think they've said that it's not coming this season, but expect it soon.
But when it happens, I'm like just a fan of my tower casuals, as I always say. So the lower, sort of simpler, the better for me. So,
Oh, like the original stuff, like the broken armor that you had, like in the cutscenes of Destiny 2. Right off the
so
bat?
that's what I like to do. But I was gonna say it's on like I don't know. We'll see if it's in your collections, which some of that stuff is. You might be able to, and then if I could shade it, like that would be huge.
That would be cool.
That's what those are my tower casuals normally. So
I really like the stuff from the Dreaming City, the set from the Dreaming City, and the set from the raid from there. What was that set called? The Riven Raid, like at the Great Hunt. Was it called Great Hunt set?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Of the Great Hunt. Yeah.
Oh, hey, that works with our theme going into the season, Briar.
It
That's what
does.
you're doing. I like it.
I did. I like that set. It was a really good looking set.
I would love to have the set you get from Anna, which is, perfect for Europa weather.
Mhm.
I'd like
enough.
to get some transmog
snowsuit.
that on. Yeah, nice little snowsuit. Get some
Mhm.
snow booties.
Yeah.
I also like Halloween. The Halloween armor that's come out in the game has always been really cool. I like creepy stuff,
Mhm.
and there's some
Yeah.
real creepy fun stuff. So all of those are great.
Behind you, Fran.
Yeah, I know this shadowy
There we go.
figure just past
What are you
Fran's.
talking about?
That's the ghost
I live
of
alone.
Aldrin's past. I don't
I
know.
live alone, man.
Make it spooky. Mhm.
Real life
Live alone.
phasmophobia. Quick!
Thomas Jones, where are you? Thomas Jones, come to us.
I don't know what I'm gonna pick. I don't know the names of the armor sets. I mean, I'll probably make pumpkin for my Titan officially.
Yeah, you should definitely. do that, for
it'll
sure.
be possible to fully do that, but my hunter, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I need to look at all of them and see all the options.
Yeah, I'm notoriously bad. Everyone makes fun of my Destiny characters because I pay zero attention to fashion, and they're
We
just like,
do.
you
That's
look like
true. It's like
you look like
huge
you
thing.
rolled through a what the donation bin, do you know? And you've come out with whatever's stuck onto you.
See, I do that with my warlock exclusively, just because, if it fits, it fits, right?
Just throwing shade. Great McCully says, with Beyond Light, the darkness is ours to control finally. So now that we have at least 2 other darkness subclasses on the way, most likely with each year expansion, what do you think the next element of darkness would be?
Soda pop.
Oh yeah, that's dark as
The
hell.
fizzy pop.
Sugar, all sugar. Sugar is actually
Bubbly.
a legit poison. I think sugar is the ultimate darkness.
Oh, so it's actually a corrosion poison type of thing?
Are you
Yeah.
gonna make things sticky? You're gonna be able to take rust off of chrome. You're going to
That'll be good against the Vex
cause
and the bronze,
diabetes.
right?
You're gonna give all the Vex diabetes.
They're going to be like, I need pig organs to replace all this stuff.
My feet are stuck to the
Yeah.
floor and I have the beatus.
So is it like something that's not stasis, or is it like a branch within stasis?
No, I think it's something that's not
Something that's
stasis,
not
like
stasis.
arc solar void.
Right.
So super cosmic ice, decay, poison type of thing.
Decay,
And then
necromancy.
oh, yes.
Hey,
I dig it.
what about your super just revives all the enemies in a radius around you? Necromancy, you just control thrall that 50 thrall that you just destroyed.
I want
Love
that.
How about
I like
They
that.
just crawl out of the ground.
In
Start slapping everyone.
PvP, you're gonna resurrect guardians.
You just
And,
gotta
like-
make sure you kill the best player and then res him, and you win.
Switch
You win the
names.
video.
I'm just gonna follow Watts around and res her every time.
Yeah, I want to be able to spec for Battle Bear. So anytime you can res Battle Bear into the
Too
field.
powerful. That's too powerful.
I need my Battle Bear. Brian.
Unbalanced.
Don't you tell me too powerful.
You look a little
It's
bearish
interesting
today.
that
Very attractive.
It's interesting that would add anything more than stasis, because I was honestly thinking that stasis would be the last element, because it sort of completes what the void and that might represent, like stasis being entropy and the cold death of the universe, like heat death of the universe, and Void was like gravity, and Arc was electromagnetic forces. So it's sort of like the last sort of known force that would be an element. But cool that they'll add something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it brings up a lot of questions because will it just be other forms of cosmic ice doing other things, or like we're saying, will it just take another path of just the darkness in general?
Sugar.
Yeah, true.
Sugar is the darkness.
Big sugar.
Aspartame is the darkness. Hovis says, question for Matt.
Keep it
With
sugar-free.
lore from the collector's edition, do you think that Clovis Bray could merge his mind with Rasputin and be placed into an exo body that has Anna, has, and could lead? There's not a fucking comma anywhere near this comment.
Oh, you're right.
I think we
weren't
get
ya?
the idea.
You said Rasputin. You've
Yeah,
done it.
who gets the extra points? Briar
Gold
Rabbit?
Briar,
Star.
right?
For Briar. Gold star.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
It'll be my first one.
Well, you know Rasputin's in an engram right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
We
know
knew that. We informed
Oh.
our community about that a long time ago.
Mhm.
So this is something that a lot of people missed.
I thought you were leaving. I'm glad you stayed.
He was getting up.
Just walks out after saying that.
I'm like, the beginning of season of Rivals, Rasputin. We had the tiny cutscene where Rasputin and Anna Bray was looking at Rasputin, and he shut down as the pyramids arrived, and it didn't really explain anything else. But when you read the lore on it, basically Rasputin tried to take on the pyramid ships and just instantly lost. And in order to save Rasputin, Anna Bray moved him into an engram.
A suitcase.
He's
Yeah.
A suitcase.
Yeah, he's been suitcased. Yeah.
That adds up.
So Deep Stone Crypts, maybe Rasputin, maybe, because I actually don't think we have a reason yet to go into Deep Stone Crypts. Like how are they going to mix Eramis in the Darkness with Clovis Bray?
I've never thought about it.
Clarity butter. Bacon butter. It's butter.
Yeah.
It's butter.
Pinch of
Ooh,
pinch of
with
salt.
bacon
Eva
butter.
Levante's oven.
Yes.
Ooh.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's actually
She's
the
up to
original
no good, right?
Starforge.
She's the raid boss. That's what the internet told me.
The
So,
Vex actually
I
built the
think
Starforge based
could
on
be.
Eva Levante's oven.
Right. Lots of cookies. That's a big cookie. That's a big cookie.
Talking about a high production.
Star
You know?
cookie.
A lot of turnout.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta ask everybody on the podcast right now. We're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. How we're feeling? Do we want to keep going? Twitter questions? Do we want to skip to the silly stuff? Do we want to go rapid fire? How are we feeling here?
Yeah, I didn't want to be that guy. I'm starving. I
Yeah.
had a long day, so that's why.
Maybe rapid fire?
You want to do rapid fire?
Just a few.
All right,
Rapid
rapid
fire.
fire.
I could always leave, and you can do it however you want as well.
Fuck you. You're not going
I don't
anywhere.
think so, Aldrin.
Out. Sorry,
All right,
I'm
here we go.
delirious right
Ready?
now, I'm sorry.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
Get ready. Spooky Kato says, if Myelin Games had to choose one character in the entire Destiny universe and lore to survive a second collapse, who would it be and why? You got 3 words to answer that question.
Aldrin, just to trigger everyone.
Oh,
Nice
Perfect.
answer.
Wonderful.
Achievement Raider says, question for Merlin Games. If the Traveler terraformed the planets and moon and adjusted their gravity so we jump at the same height on every destination, is this further proof that showing the relationship between the light and dark?
Yes.
These are the yes, yeah, fine.
Yes.
Hard yes.
Commander English Guy says 3.1% of PlayStation users have beat the Last Wish raid. So I'm curious about your thoughts on the players' base's choices on what in-games activities they prefer.
They're wrong. Next question.
Yeah. Your data is doctored.
Fake news. Jimmy Aaron says, with the return of the Crow, do you think this will be the catalyst to push Zavala over the edge and abandon the light?
He's joining the Cabal. We saw it in the trailer. I saw it.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't actually see that. He's going Cabals deep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I cannot see. He is a cop through and through. There's no way he abandons the light.
The Cabal are not necessarily of the darkness, right?
They're just misunderstood. Sally Blump says, do you think we'll be able to change our appearance on November 10th? No.
No, they said that was going to take longer, I think.
It might change, but you didn't change it.
That's true.
Yeah.
The
Maybe
Beef
some
Castle.
pig ears. Yeah.
The Beef Castle says, I'm a day one player, but I've taken about the last year off. Beyond Light has got me hyped, and I'm ready to come back, logging back in. However, I'm a little overwhelmed. What do I need to do, in your opinion, before November 10th? Get exotics.
Get exotics.
Just collect all the exotics you can.
Veritas Otis 52 says, are ghosts of the light, or are they conduits for light or dark? Can we get dark ghosts? No, because they come from the Traveler, right?
I'm going to go with strips of bacon from the Great Traveler Pig.
Delicious.
This is not what I wanted to happen. I failed as a teacher.
You want to chime in on that?
I got a question for Myelin. When was the first Exo Pig created from Clovis Bray?
Look, everyone's getting a bit silly now. We need to have a lunch break. You all need to go to recess and come back refreshed, okay?
Oh, give it time. It's going to get worse. Poncho Nugget says, with Beyond Light coming to Xbox Game Pass, will I be able to play the raid with my friends day one on Xbox if I buy Beyond Light on PC? No.
Wait, on Xbox?
No, there's no crossplay yet.
Right, no crossplay.
Maybe they mean cross progression to
cross save.
But
he'd have access. My friends with.
He'd have access to Beyond Light raid on Xbox if he has the Game Pass, but he wouldn't be able to do cross play.
Exactly. So I think if the scenario is they've spent all their time on PC and they also own Game Pass and they just want to go over on Game Pass on Xbox,
you cannot. If your friends are on Xbox and you're on PC, you cannot play yet together.
Not together. I'm saying if you want to go over though, if you want to move over to that console when you're ready. It's cross progression. But no crossplay.
Like on December, I don't know, 12th-ish.
Yeah. Whatever
you might want to move over.
That too.
Whatever platform you want to play the raid on, though, you will have to own a license of Beyond Light.
Yes.
And
you
know, if you have Game Pass, you get a license on there. But if you play it on PC, you got to buy it on PC, PS4, etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could buy it on PC, progress your character, and then if you have Game Pass on Xbox, port your save over to Xbox and play with your friends on the raid.
Yeah.
But you only have to buy the season pass once, right? And that ports over to any platform you play on, right?
Yes.
I think it's while the season pass is active.
No.
I have no idea on that one.
You have to buy them separately. I think
that's crazy. I never.
You have to buy the season pass for every platform.
It makes
you play
sense.
on?
Yeah. I mean.
Oh no!
Because you got to buy the DLC.
No, the season pass.
I think you got to buy the DLC, but I don't think you got to buy.
There's the free
path, right?
There's the free path.
No, the season pass is for your account. No, we're
the
going to
season
confuse
pass
a lot of people
does
here.
Transfer.
The season pass is for your account on Bungie. To access
Listen to
the
Alf.
Beyond,
he knows what the fuck he's talking
to
about.
access the Beyond Light content, you have to have the DLC, which is either going to be you buy it on PC or PS4, or you get it on Game Pass and Xbox. But the season pass itself is with your account.
Right.
Yes.
I cannot take anything Tefty is saying seriously.
Cats, they're delicious.
It's not his fault. It's just the fact that he looks like Alf.
Like, kill me.
Juan23 says, does anyone know if Game Pass Beyond Light DLC is account based? Can I play Beyond Light on other platforms without paying for it?
No.
That one was easy.
No, you can play the strikes, you can go to Europa, you can do all like the
free content.
You can do the free to play stuff,
but you do all the free to play stuff.
You can't play Beyond Light stuff
that was
without Beyond Light.
Yeah.
The good news is we actually already went over it in the show. Briar read it. So scroll back.
I did.
Yeah, remember you said free to all players, the new
I
destination, Cosmodrome experience. Yeah.
Sparky Mark says, what do you believe the Ascendant lens is for? And do you think the Crow, aka Aldrin, plays a role, perhaps a Dreaming City seasonal location token. I think it's
I
to
don't
burn
know.
ants, because they're fucking so annoying.
Yeah,
It's
ants.
fun, just right.
Yeah, is there any
Streaming City ants
are
specifically.
there any lore hints on that, Myelin? What the lens could be?
Is the Ascendant lens the new artifact, or is it something else?
You get it from doing 45 levels of the new Festival of the Lost.
Oh, I haven't done that.
Brian. So yeah, like I don't. I've got 15 of those, and I keep. I'm like, should I've gotten it? I don't know.
It might be a nice little
I don't know.
token, but nothing substantial.
Is it raisins?
That's what it's just. All you,
Is it the new raisins? You get
a
45
raisin.
ciphers for the new raisin.
It's a raisin decoder. Yeah.
Be sure to drink your
Lord
Ovaltine.
Beerus says, how does DCP move forward knowing that Bungie called it Cosmic Ice? And it's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Lord.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
We move forward
By the way,
celebrating.
if you say it's your birthday, I will pretty much always select your question,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Briar,
Maybe I
you're setting
shouldn't say
yourself
that.
up now.
What
Yeah.
if they say it's my birthday and for my birthday I want a nice slice of briar?
Yep.
Mm.
That
You
wasn't
gotta say
cool,
both.
man.
It's better to eat briar than to eat cats. So
Is it?
That's good. Yes.
I disagree.
It's acceptable to eat briar. It's not acceptable to eat cats.
DCP thinks that Cosmic Ice is DCP certified. We
Yeah.
have an
DCP.
official
We coined
seal.
that a
I don't
long
know if
time
you've
ago.
seen it.
Well, there was a lot of hubbub. We even got into some fights with people on Twitter about it. You know?
Yeah,
Some
little bit,
knockdown,
little
drag out
dust up.
fights. And we
Yeah.
came out on top. We got confirmed, certified.
Just means we're always right.
That's right.
Fact. Myelin can confirm.
Oh,
Myelin
I'll-
has also
I'll-
certified us as lore experts. Today, it
Yeah.
happened.
I'll put it in writing.
That's right.
Maybe sometimes you get some things right. Yeah,
I just
stamped.
I'm looking forward to my certified C word rating from Myelin after the podcast. You know? Fraction. Where do I
Poor
fall
Australian.
in the meter?
It's like a Nintendo seal of approval. It just says the C word in it.
Yeah. Fun fact: in Australia, C is actually above A in grading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Education
Perfect.
system.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Checked out then.
And if you get
now
a
in-
CU, you're really doing excellent.
Next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
See you next Thursday is the DCP win.
Oh. Dallin C says, hi, question for everyone. Is calling a warlock space pixie a compliment or an insult?
A warlock, space pixie. They have no feelings, so it's fine.
That's
When
the
you're
one.
already called a warlock, you've already insulted them as much as you can get.
Exactly.
That's
And they're
true.
covered in piss and they smell
Hey.
like it. So next
Anything
question,
is an
right?
upgrade. Pixel says, do you think there'll be an additional new exotic that they haven't announced coming to Beyond Light? Also, kudos on the artwork.
Yes.
I don't think so. I think they listed
Secret.
a bunch of them. I
No.
think
Think
that's
there's gonna
what
be
you can
secrets?
expect.
Nope. Secrets.
Yeah, maybe secrets.
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 Safreezes says, do you guys think the double barrel shotgun that the Prince Aldrin action figure from around Forsaken was holding is the new duality that we don't know about
Yeah.
yet on the vid doc?
Could be.
That'd be
There you
dope.
go.
I could
Could
use
be.
a good double barrel. That'll be fun.
Wow.
That just reminded me about pulled pork.
Yeah, wow.
Fascinating. That's great.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Chris is like, can I go and eat now, please?
My blood sugar, yeah, is really low.
Hold up, quick question. Myelin.
Fran is in
is-
soundboard mode. Just wow. Yeah, I agree.
No,
Story.
Hold up, quick
This is
question.
a
Quick
run out
question.
the clock situation right here.
Quick question here. It's pulled pork, right? The name of the ghost for
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Does
And
that
it's a delicious
have any
sandwich.
relation
oh man,
to
To the
Clone
pig?
Spray's pigs?
this is big brain.
Oh, that's why I picked Aldrin.
Making connect.
Oh.
Is
Wow,
there
that's
a
big brain.
cosmic
Brain, that's-
connection through
I
the
keep
That
forgetting
is-
Star Forge oven?
Alpha's
So-
from space, you know.
You know how if you get a bunch of monkeys in a room and they're on typewriters, eventually they'll type something decent.
You're talking about warlocks,
Was
right?
that our decent one?
That has
was
yet to
the
be
decent
confirmed.
one. That was it.
We'll see. We'll see.
Jelly says, "What's the first DLC to a game that you ever bought?"
First DLC.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. This wasn't
Probably-
technically DLC because it came in a box. I had to buy it at a store, but it was either Warcraft 2 DLC, which I think was Tides of something, Tides of Darkness, maybe.
That's probably an expansion, right?
Yeah, it's not technically DLC because you didn't download it, right?
Yeah.
Or it was Diablo 2 DLC, which again I didn't download. I bought in a box and it came on diskettes, 3.5-inch floppies.
God, I'm
yeah,
trying
it's
to
like,
remember.
are we talking expansion or literally like the first DLC that you like?
I can't remember the
downloaded
first
or-
DLC. It might
Yeah,
have
because
been.
I'll go with the StarCraft Brood War if we're going to allow expansions.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
I think it was StarCraft for me.
A DLC,
Wouldn't
I don't
know.
know. Maybe I got something in GTA or something. I don't know. Great question though. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
that was a
It's
long
tough
time
to
ago.
like go all the way back and think about which one's which.
No idea.
Did Lost Planet on Xbox 360 have DLC?
Certainly possible. There was a lot of DLC coming out back then, I think. So
Yeah.
I bet you, yeah.
Maybe
How about
Age of
Mech-
Empires?
Maybe
Mech
Rainbow
Assault
Six.
on the
Age of
Xbox.
Empires, yeah.
Rainbow Six might be one for me. on
Rainbow
Xbox.
6? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Either.
Trigger Blade says, "Does Myelin Games still know how to say bandolier?"
He looks so sad when you asked him that. Wow. I don't know the backstory, but I like this.
Okay, the backstory is I obviously do a lot of reading on stream because people don't like to read, but they like to listen to someone read.
Yeah.
And you know
Sure.
how there's certain words that you've always said in your head a certain way,
Oh, yeah.
Like
but you've never
Mohammed.
said out loud? Well, I was
Oh,
reading bandolier and I say it bandoiler, and then halfway through, people are like,
Bandoiler?
what is
That sounds
What
like
are
an
you
Adam
saying?
Sandler character.
I was like, this word, bandoiler. You're like, what?
Senor Bandoiler.
Bandoiler.
Bandoila.
I think
Bandoila.
everybody's got that.
That is a good one. That's a
Oh,
good one.
man. That's amazing.
Bandoiler.
I think
That's
that's
pretty
better
Might be how I
than
say it from now on. In
Except
honor.
some people say nuclear.
some people say Bahamas for certain Titan subclass.
Bahamut? No, he called it Bahamut.
Bandoiler.
Bandoiler.
That's amazing.
So-
It's
that's
like
my
a toilet
best.
for your bandolier. A bandoiler.
Bandoiler.
Isn't that the thing you put over the toilet paper to hide it?
A
A
Bandoiler?
bandoiler?
Yeah, that's a bandoiler, I think.
Yeah.
Is that a doily or something?
It's a very similar sound.
A Bandoiler?
Bandoily.
And a group of doilies together is a bandoily. Bandoiler.
It's the shit you take after you've eaten Taco Bell. It's a bandoiler.
Oh god.
Ugh.
Spez says, what is your longest backlogged game? Mine would have been 4 Uncharted games. I bought them when Uncharted 4 released and only just started and finished them the other week. That's not even that long, Spez.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4?
What's that?
Or all the Uncharted games?
Yeah. The first Uncharted game came out on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Wait, you're just saying that's
Yeah.
not long? That's a long time.
For a backlogged game? No. There's nothing on the... I'm sure I can think of something on the NES that I've always wanted to play, but I've never gotten around to.
How could you technically just not have a backlog game on every platform? Like, there's just
Yeah.
not something that you haven't played.
Yeah.
that You probably
I
want
have
to.
so many, I have no idea.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
played
oh.
Halo for the very first time
Mm.
this year.
Oh,
And
Get
wow.
the fuck out of here.
never played it. Never had any spoilers. And Halo 1, I was like, oh my god, I get it. Like, I was more hyped about Destiny this year because I played Halo than I've been about. I'm like, oh, Spongy! And also sad.
So, having played Halo now, do you think there's a connection between the two universes of Halo and Destiny?
You reckon what, Master Chief? Yeah, I mean, like, the amount of times I called the Flood the Hive and
right. Big time.
the not Elixir. See, I can't even get the Halo words out. The Covenant
Yeah,
Mhm.
Covenant.
The Elixir or the Fallen was ridiculous. Just
yeah, they're very
instinctively.
similar, aren't they? I actually didn't make that connection, so you just said it.
Mhm.
But the Elixir and the Fallen are very similar.
Mhm.
The Covenant, you mean? See?
Covenant, yeah, my bad.
The Elixir and the Fallen are very similar.
And 343 is a ghost.
Exactly.
yeah,
Is
Yep.
it?
yeah.
Guilty Spark.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Guilty
Yep.
Spark.
Back to that question though. I think
Mm.
in order for it to be a true backlog game, you have to actually have started it like
Alright.
for the first 5
Yeah.
or 10 minutes
Okay.
and then like shelved it. You can't be like, oh, I
Yeah.
heard about this one game on the Nintendo that I would really like to play at one point that I
Yeah.
don't even know if I get the
All right, that's
cartridge.
fair.
I feel like you
Yeah,
had to
that's
have
fair.
bought it, tried it out for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes and being like, oh, this is going to be great when I come back to it in a
right.
weekend.
Superman
Here's one.
64.
Rygar. Oh, fuck, nobody's got that on their backlog. Rygar for the NES. I rented it as a kid. I almost beat it. I ran, like, my mother basically dragged me by my ear to the rental store. I had to return it. I went back the next day. I rode my bicycle to go get it the next day. And I brought it home, and I didn't realize that there was no like password system or anything.
Mhm.
So I had to start over, even though it was one of those
Yeah.
games where you were basically just like turning off the TV and pausing the game overnight so you could continue playing the next
Yeah.
day. And it was like, it was a RPG is the wrong word, but an adventure game where you just kind of kept going.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
hard too. And I almost had that game beat, and I was crestfallen. So I've always meant to go back and beat that game.
That's
It's
a good
definitely
one.
on
It's a good one.
my list.
I keep hoping Rygar will come back someday, but
It came back on the
owns the
PlayStation
rights.
2.
yeah, that did. That was the remake, and it
Yeah.
didn't sell, and that's why it's been buried ever since. But
I don't think the first one was that good, but I still want to beat it.
it was a classic. It was cool,
Yeah.
man. Back then, man.
All right. I think we
That
got
was the
time
last
for two
question,
more.
right?
Two more?
One or two,
Two
more.
more? What? You guys are killing
We
me.
got to break Fran here because he's Aldrin.
You've already broke me. I'm gonna cry.
All right. Usually I've stopped selecting any question that has eating me, but this one was legitimately funny. Veritas Otis 52 says, what makes Briar Rabbit delicious? A, tenderness from wearing Crocs. B, seasoning from salt he brings. C, cooking time for roasting over a Molotov cocktail. D, he tastes like pure joy from laughter.
That one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think D is the obvious one, but I think I'm going to go with A. Tenderness from the Crocs.
Crocs?
Yeah.
Are Crocs so comfortable that your legs have to work less, so
They
your legs are
tenderize
more
your
It's
meat?
so comfortable. It's like you glide. It's like riding a skateboard on autopilot.
You might be right. You might be onto something there, Ted.
just pure tenderized.
Yeah.
God, there's so many questions that we're missing. Damn it. This is too bad. Hugo Rune got a question. Would you rather have a fold-out table that grew out of your rib cage and you could be put up and down in mere seconds, or stretchy back skin, which could be pulled back over your head to act as a makeshift bivouac? Bivouac? Bivouac.
What the hell is a bivouac?
What's a bivouac?
A bivouac? Is
Yeah.
that what that is saying? That's funny. I know the word. I don't know what it is.
Either
Yeah,
way,
I
I'm
know
going
it
with the
is.
table. Because you know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I hate.
that's right. Yeah, it's just a tent base. That's right.
You know what I hate more than anything?
Is it like an
Is-
annex?
I don't think it's like an axe.
Like, is that what he's saying?
Oh,
Like
maybe.
this?
I guess
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Like
just
a
you
hood.
can just put up like a
Just
little
like a hood.
tent on a stick kind
No,
of.
no.
Yeah.
I'm going with the table. Because you know what I hate is when you get some like street food, and the worst part of street
Yeah.
food, street food tastes amazing, but you're walking around and you're like, ugh, I could just pull out the table, enjoy some
I got a
food.
caveat.
That would have
I
kept you
100%
from
agree
eating
with that.
dicks off of the garbage can. That one.
That's
I got a
true.
caveat. I got a caveat. It's still your skin, so you put some hot food on your table, you're gonna feel it and get
Fine.
burnt.
It's fine.
Ooh.
That's debatable because like
Is it?
if you
'Cause
can fold
you
it
just
down,
got-
I mean, this wasn't specific as to the mechanics of all this.
Fine.
Oh, you
In
can
my
stretch
backpack,
skin
I'll
over your
carry a like heat-proof thing. I'm gonna put on my
You
rib.
Like,
have
am I
a heat
wearing a
pad?
sweatshirt? Does the sweatshirt like stretch?
Yeah, because I was
with my
about to say
skin?
like, yeah, because then you can't wear any clothes as well for
Yeah.
these things.
Then it gets weird. You can't just be out there eating naked with a table skin thing.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why
but
not?
I mean, it's still better
The
than
main
like,
thing is naked.
pulling your skin over your head and then saying this is a bivouac, and then everyone going, "What's a bivouac?" And like, oh, I should have got the table. Do you know what I mean?
I think
It's the same as a
I think that's
bandolier.
it
or
right
whatever.
there. I think Myelin just explained why that's the right answer.
Oh, it's a bivouac. Yeah. It's a bivouac.
Bivouac. I like that. We're making up a new word, which is even better.
All right. That's all the questions we have time for. If your question didn't get selected this week, make sure to tweet at FM3.
Yeah, we did. I'm glad that's not my Twitter. I don't know who that is, but hey, don't blame me, okay? It's been 3 hours. I like the questions. I just happen to be starving. I'm sorry.
Fran's got to fill up his belly. All right, he's
That's
got.
right.
See, they like to use me though as the excuse.
I'm
We
hungry
gotta let
too,
Myelin
actually.
go. He's been
We're
sending us
practicing for
messages.
tomorrow, Frank.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow we're doing the
Yes,
raid
we have
on,
a raid tomorrow. Yeah.
on that game called
Bivouac.
Ghost of
Legends.
Bivouac.
Bivouac Legends. That's going to be at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. We're going to get together.
No,
We're
no,
going to
it's 3
world's
Pacific.
first that raid,
Wait.
and then we'll think if there's
It's
something
at
else we
3
can do.
p.m.
Pacific
it's,
time.
It's 3
right?
p.m.
3
Pacific, is
Pacific.
when it officially starts. We'll
Thank
probably
God.
be live a little bit
Oh,
earlier.
3 Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay. So 6 Eastern.
Yeah, if you
Is
like
when
to
the
hop on
actual
earlier.
raid goes live.
How does this? I'm interested in this. How does this raid work? I know we're going. What's the deal with?
You're a
with
samurai and you slap ghoulies in your underwear.
Yeah, there's mechanics. There's like actual mechanics. Like there's color coding
Really?
to what type of power you get, and have to go take care of enemies a certain way, or be able to access platforms with it. It's surprising.
Yeah, we don't know what's in there yet, but
Cool.
There's a really
They have
surprising
the-
depth to the multiplayer in that game. It's outstanding.
I think
Yeah,
we're probably going to
that's-
find the exos there, and Clovis Bray is going to make an appearance. So
Definitely going to be some pigs.
That's right.
it's going to be shocking.
Pigs,
Yep.
definitely pigs.
Definitely pigs.
He's gonna-
Maybe some samurai pigs.
If I see Aldrin
Samurai
there too, I'm
pork.
definitely stabbing him.
Samurai pork. Is that a off anime?
I don't think they're allowed to
Samurai
eat
pork.
pork. It's
No.
against their samurai religion.
samurai.
No, it's a samurai pork.
Mm.
You know,
The samurai fork is more like a spork, I think, but it's attached. It's got like a really nice braided handle.
gotcha. I'm actually talking about a pig dressed up as a samurai who kicks ass. But anyways,
Oh, like
I think that's the
Spider
show. It's Spider Pig. Yeah.
Spider pig.
I think we should probably end the episode right about here.
Yeah, I know what you guys are doing.
We
I don't know.
shout out to all our Patreons who make the podcast happen here on DCP. We really do appreciate that. That is
Pay for all these
extremely
fine
kind.
costumes.
Yes, you. I will write off my elf costume from that.
Best $20
Yeah.
I could spend at Party City.
And also thank you to all of our Twitch subs and everyone who subbed live during this podcast. We also appreciate all that support. So thank you very much. And thanks for hanging out and watching and all that. Myelin, where can people find you on the internet? And, what's it about?
If you search Exopig in Google, it'll take you to a very special website, and you follow
Special
the law. You follow
website.
the law clues, and eventually you'll arrive at Myelin Games on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch.
I like it.
I want that to be a true thing.
What's
Fran,
funny is I tried that and it's something you can buy.
an exo pig?
An exo pig?
Yeah,
I guess I know where I'm spending my money.
Stop! Stop!
it's true.
Fran, where can people find you getting some food?
You can find us tomorrow, like we were talking about, but I'll be live Twitch TV/FM3_.
Excellent.
Hopefully, still alive.
Nice. Watts?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And
It's
Brock.
only $20 for an exo pig, actually.
Off of Amazon?
It's true.
Comes in different sizes.
Does.
Different
hands.
sizes.
Yeah, you put your hand in the exo pig, actually. Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
puppet?
Um,
I'm Brian
Guys?
Rabbit. You can find me playing as a samurai tomorrow. I'll be carrying the team as usual. And we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Bear.
before we leave, I have to share a special tweet with you guys. This is from Ikumi Nakamura, which, if you remember E3, the lady that everyone fell in love with,
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
she just tweeted me with a picture of us, the DCP crew, doing our podcast. Hefty is the Alf Hashira. This is all Demon Slayer. All of the pillars are called Hashira. So Tefty is the Alpha Hashira. Briar is the sunglasses Hashira. I'm the love Hashira because that's who I am. Fran is the question mark Hashira.
Oh.
And Myelin is the Kamehameha Hashira.
Nice.
Nice.
That is amazing.
So I will post.
Can you retweet that? I'd love to see it.
I'm gonna retweet it and I put the link in.
I'm looking right now. I like that I'm question mark. That's great.
Oh my god, that's great.
We got meme done.
We
Fantastic.
did. We got.
I love
mega
Alpha
meme.
Shear is just awesome though. It's so good.
Freaking out. You know, I'm gonna be wearing this
Amazing.
again. I'll be wearing this costume again on Saturday night because I am going to be fulfilling my DCP GCX goals from our stream where I was going to play Dream Daddy. That is finally happening. So I'll be playing a Dream Daddy on Saturday night in this outfit, but also on Friday be live with these guys doing the Ghost of Tsushima raid that I'm very much looking forward to. And I don't know what else I'm going to be playing in November. There's nothing else coming out, is there? Right?
Nope. Free time.
Can't think of anything.
Yeah,
Nope.
I think I'm gonna go learn how to.
Oh, the analog NES is coming out.
Nice. I was thinking
Yeah,
about learning
so,
how to stitch and
play for Nintendo.
make my own elf costume. That's better.
Do a little quilting.
Quilting,
Maybe.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
Yeah,
A little knitting.
little knitting.
Make some
Yeah.
scarves. I could
I'm
use a
looking
new
forward
hat.
to it.
This one's got cocaine all over it.
All right, I'm going to make dinner. You can crochet and you can quilt, but I'm going to go eat something.
Yep, that's it for us. Thanks for
That's fair.
watching. We'll see you
Thanks,
next
guys.
week, guys. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.